Welcome, everybody. Welcome. You guys are lighting up this chat. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Crush Your Commission 3-day challenge. If you are ready to take your sales to the next level, type I am in the chat. Type I am in the chat. Am I in the right room? Tell me, am I in the right room? I think I'm in the right room. And if you're committed to showing up live all 3 days to learn it, type I will in the chat. I see you, Eric. I see you, Dr. Stella. I see you, Vasileos, Heather, Dan, Robin. So good to be here, everybody. My name is Anthony Bizzari. I am the Senior Vice President here at 7th Level, coming to you live on, what is it, 24th of February. Or if you're in my neck of the woods, I'm from the future, actually. Can you guess my accent? I'm a day ahead. It's the 25th for me. I will leave that up to interpretation. Let's see who knows. Now, I want to know where you're all from. Type in the chat. Where are you from around the world? Where are you from around the world? We literally had people register from nearly every single country. I've got Australia, Arizona, Denver, Maryland, Phoenix, Pakistan. Welcome. Great to have you. Bolivia, Texas, Pennsylvania, the UK, Ontario, Canada, all around the world. This is amazing. This shows me how committed you all are. And also, we're going to be doing something special over the next few days. We're going to be tying in the industries that you literally sell. We're going to show you how to tweak some of them into the process we're about to teach you. So let me know, what is it you sell? Drop it in the chat. What do you sell? Is this live? No, Julia, this is not live. I'm an AI bot. I'm a pre-recorded. It is not Tuesday, the 24th of February. I'm teasing. Yes, this is live. Yes, this is live. So anyway, let me know what you sell. Commercial insurance, student expense, pest control, mobile phones, electrical sales, coach training programs, AI, options trading, freight, digital marketing, telecom, life insurance, AI, advertising. Look at all of these industries. Medical device, all of the largest industries we actually train. So give yourself a round of applause for actually showing up today, guys. Give yourself a round of applause. You know why? Because we had just over 2,900 of you register to be here. But from what I see, you're the just under 900 that actually put in the effort and showed up today. So give yourself a massive round of applause. You know why? Because that's a key ingredient in being successful, is there has to be an alignment between what you say you're going to do and what you actually did. So the fact that you showed up and you didn't come up with the excuses in the world, I know you've got a busy life. I know things are going on. I know you've got the kids. Life is crazy, right? But despite all of that, you didn't make excuses. You showed up. That tells me you have the right ingredients. I can already tell by the chat. This chat box is firing, by the way, team. I don't know how we're going to keep track of all of these chats, but I can tell this is a high-level room. So here's what I need from all of you. I thrive off your feedback. So does Jeremy. You need to give us reactions. If something's great, round of applause, thumbs up, love hearts, party, smash those reaction buttons. Use that chat for the next 3 days. Can you guys do that? Say yes in the chat. Say yes in the chat. Okay, I'm in the right room. This is a high-level room, team. Well done. Now, listen, this is really important because on Saturday at 11:59 p.m. PST, we're going to be deleting the replays of the entire 3-day challenge. They're gone forever. Adios. In the atmosphere. Why are we doing that? Well, we're doing that because we're creating a 3-day container for you to master sales now. Not in a month, not in a year, but right now. So type clear in the chat if you are crystal clear on that. I know I'm going to get a few angry messages on Sunday. Anthony, why'd you delete the trainings? You're the worst human being on earth. I expect it. It's going to come. But please help me out. At least give me less than 10 of those. That'll be great. Crystal clear in the chat. All right, this is a high-level room. Now, make sure you show up live as well, because this is important to get the most out of the challenge over the next 3 days. Some of you, my team let me know, haven't even joined our 7th Level University WAP community. So what I need you to do right now is you're going to go and join this. You'll see it on screen here. Go to nepq.io/group. This is the 7th Level community, 7th Level University WAP community. Some of you may already be in there. Some of you haven't joined, but this is where we will be posting the recordings at the end of every session. We're also going to be assigning you your homework, giving you bonus resources, and you have to be in here if you want to be eligible to win the prizes. And we've got some pretty epic prizes we're going to be giving out. So go to nepq.io/group. And I want to share something with you as well. Who here knows Tony Robbins? Type me in the chat. Do you know Tony Robbins? Yeah? You guys know him, right? I want to share a story a friend of mine recently told me. I was just in Miami last week hanging out with the team, and I met one of my buddies, and he was telling me this story about an event Tony ran back in 2011. There was a very successful woman who showed up to this event. Tell me her name once you figure it out. She's worth $3 billion. She was abused in her early childhood. Terrible. Because of that, she had a stillborn baby at 14. She's then put into a girls' home, and she was African-American in the South in the 60s. What's her name? This is a high-level room. Oprah. You guys got it. You got it, Angel. Jennifer, you got it. Now, let me ask you a question. What are the chances that that person becomes Oprah Winfrey? What are the chances? See, she didn't let her situation define her. So she's at one of Tony's events, and Tony asked everybody the same question I'm about to ask all of you. Where do you think you are in reaching your full potential as a human being on a scale of 1 to 10? And a friend leans over, he was sitting near Oprah, and says, "Hey, Oprah, where are you at? You're probably at a 20, right?" Because, I mean, is Oprah successful? Yes or no? She's super successful. What do you feel Oprah gave herself out of 10? She gave herself a 3. See, despite all of her success, she feels she's only scratched the surface of what a human being is truly capable of. So now let me ask you the exact same question. Where are you at on a scale of 1 to 10? Not compared to others, just you. And let me be crystal clear. Nobody is at a 10. 10 is, Anthony, I've mastered selling. There is nothing more to learn. I close 100%. I don't need to learn anything. You probably wouldn't have been here if that's you. And a 1 is, there's a heck of a lot more I can be doing better. Where are you at? Put that number in the chat right now. Put that number in the chat right now. I want to see where we're at as a group. I'm seeing 2s, 3s, 1s. Some are saying I'm not even at a 1. Thank you for your honesty. That's going to serve you. And I want to tie us together as a group. Are we a team here over the next 3 days? Yes or no? So are you guys cool if I tie us together as a group? Number 2, this is telling me we're all at a 2, because this is a principle one of my mentors instilled in me when I was younger. You're only as strong as your weakest link, but it's the strongest links that pull us forward. Think about it. You know, if you go to an event like this, or maybe in your business or your company, if there's someone there that's just kind of sitting there, not engaging, they're being a bit of a negative Nancy the entire time, does that negative Nancy, does that person lower the standard of the entire group? Yes or no? Yes or no? Does that person that's a negative Nancy, they're just sitting there, they're being skeptical, yeah, they lower the standard. That person lowers your income. And if somebody comes in and they play full out, do they raise the standard? Of course they do. So I want to agree that we're all going to be the strongest links for each other. So everybody type strongest link. Type strongest link, type strongest link. Am I in the right room? Yes? Strongest link, good. And before we go any further, I need to set the standard here. This is really important to me. This is a professional environment. Everybody that registered to be here, they want one thing, and that is growth. Growth requires participation, which means being vulnerable. So I'm going to be crystal clear. This isn't X. This isn't Facebook comments. This isn't some YouTube channel. If you are rude to any single person role-playing over the next 3 days, if you're sarcastic with them, if you're being judgmental to somebody who steps up and gets outside of their comfort zone, let me be crystal clear. I'm going to give you one warning. I will remove you. I will blacklist you from ever attending any of our events ever again. I will give you your dollar back, and you can go be average somewhere else. I'm here to protect this environment aggressively. I'm here to protect all of you. So one warning. Am I clear? Type clear in the chat. Type clear in the chat. You're welcome. You're welcome. And who would also want Jeremy Miner to show you the exact plan that took him from below average, where he was literally, this guy was literally about to quit sales after his first couple of months, to becoming the top 0.00001% in the entire world. type me in the chat if that is you, because he is 30 seconds away. He's going to give you that opportunity. And make sure you're here all 3 days. I'm giving away some amazing prizes for playing full out. We are tracking your engagement in the group and in the chat. And also, somebody on day 3 is going to be winning a brand new Rolex Datejust with box and papers. If you'd like to win that, make sure you're live all 3 days. All 3 days. All right, guys, we are literally a minute away. Like I said, I've been working with Jeremy for a while now, nearly 4 years, over 4 years, actually. And ever since I started as one of his mastery clients back in 2021, every single month, I still get breakthroughs. Because listen to this. This guy has spent tens of thousands of hours in the field actually making sales like you. Not just reading the books, but actually in the trenches, talking to prospects, handling the objections. He studied under everyone you can think of. He then cut out 99% of all the fluff because he's an expert in neuropsychology, and he created the 1%. And that's called NEPQ. And he's about to unveil the secrets the top 1% are using right now. So if you guys are ready, type ready in the chat, because it is time to bring out the man who, during his 17-year, get this guy, 17-year sales career, before he retired, he was recognized in the direct selling industry as the 45th highest earning producer out of more than 108 million salespeople selling anything to anybody worldwide. Isn't that amazing? His earnings as a commission-only sales rep were in the multiple 7 figures every single year. 7-Level was ranked the largest B2C sales training company in the world in 2025 and also 2026, with the 4th largest in the B2B space based on annual revenues. Mr. Miner, he's a contributor for Inc. magazine, Wall Street Journal, the best-selling author, and he's here to share all of it with you today. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to watch a really short video. And at the other end, you're going to light up the chat, give him the emojis, give him the welcome that he deserves. Cue the video.
Jeremy Miner.
Jeremy Miner.
Jeremy freaking Miner.
For Jeremy Miner, the embodiment of this philosophy made him one of the wealthiest sales professionals on the planet. He was recognized in the direct selling industry as the 45th highest earning producer out of more than 108 million salespeople selling anything worldwide.
His company, 7-Level, was ranked the #1 fastest growing sales training company in the U.S.
He has literally changed my life.
Catapulted me to the next level.
This stuff is next level. It's life-changing, and I truly believe it's going to shift the industry.
Who's committed to mastery? Say I am if that's you. Say I am if that's you. Say I am if that's you.
Light up the chat and welcome to the stage. Everybody, give it up for Jeremy Miner. Hey, dog.
All right, I'm here, big dog. How are you?
Dude, chilling like a villain, mate. What's cracking?
Chilling like a villain, man. We were just in Miami the other day. Back in
dude.
Scottsdale. You're back in Australia. There we are.
Yeah. My bag finally made it. It was stuck in Dallas, but we're finally back. We're good.
Could be trouble. Now, apparently, I have the Rolex that we are giving away. Look at this bad boy. You know, I'm not a big Rolex guy. I like Omega. I wear primarily Omega watches, Brightly, and I got a few Rolexes from clients, but this is nice. Who wants the Rolex? Type in me if that's you. Type in me if that's you. It's right here. I've got it right here, all right? It's going to come from our offices here. Now, how many of you are ready to take your sales and your life to the next level? Type in let's go if that's you. Type in let's go. And here's the thing. Once we show you how, because we're going to show you a lot of things in the next 3 days. Once we show you how and what you're going to need to do, How many of you are actually going to act on what we tell you to do? Type in I am if that's you. Type in I am if that's you, okay? Over the next couple of days, you're going to notice that Anthony and I are going to ask you a lot of questions. And sometimes we're going to say something, and I'm going to ask you to repeat it in the chats. We're going to ask you to what? We're going to ask you to repeat it in the chats. We're going to ask you to what? Type in the chats. We're going to ask you to what? Repeat it. Okay, you guys are getting this. All right. And sometimes we're even going to be saying something. I do this all the time at events. Sometimes we'll be saying something, and I'm going to ask you to fill in the blank. I'm going to ask you to fill in the what? I'm going to ask you, okay, you guys are getting this. All right. All right. You guys are getting this. Anthony, I think this is a highly intelligent room. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you, before we get into some tactical training, I'm going to tell you a little bit about a little bit of my story, because my story relates to what is, I would say, necessary if you want to take your sales ability to, let's say, a level that most people, like, they don't even know they can get to. Let's pull up that first slide. Okay, so I got, yes, this is an actual picture of me back in like the year 2001. So I got my first job selling home security systems door to door. Okay, this is when I was in school. I was broke, burned out. Okay, type in me if you sell door to door, or if you've ever sold door to door. Type in me. This is where I started. This is my. I want to see who my people are. This is my first sales job. Then I sold into 3 industries after this. Okay, now after the first probably I don't know 75, 90 days, I sucked. Okay, so there's about 300 salespeople in that company at that time. Guess where Jay Miner was at as a 20-year-old kid? Like dead last. It was like 299. I think I was ahead of one person. Okay. And I still remember this day. I was standing on a curb, had made 0 sales that day. I'm not going to get into all the details, but life sucked, because when you make 0 sales and you sell door to door, how much do you make? Can anybody tell me? 0 sales in a day. How much do you typically? You make 0, no base salary, right? Straight commission. So I remember standing on a curve. Okay. Standing on a curve late Friday night. Okay. And I remember sitting there thinking, like, I haven't made any sales. I made $0. And I thought, maybe selling just wasn't for me. Have you ever felt that way yourself? Have you ever noticed that you had more money going out of your bank account than you had coming in? Okay. That was me. Okay. That was me. You can take the slide down. Take the slide down. Okay. And I remember that night, my manager popped in a Tony Robbins CD. Okay. You guys know, type in me if you know Tony Robbins is. A good mentor of mine. I have an event. We have an event at his house, like in a week and a half, or not a week and a half, about a month and a half. His mastermind is really fun. And Tony said something like this. I could be butchering it, but he said, you will fail for the simple reason you don't learn the right skills that are necessary to succeed. You will fail if you don't learn the right skills. Now, Tony, he went on to say that people who are average, or those who fail, or even those who, like, let's say they never reach their full potential, what they could be, he said they're dabblers. They just dabble. They don't commit to mastering the right skills. Now, why is this so critical for you to understand? Because when I heard him say that, it was like, have you ever had like a light bulb moment where you're just like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense? That was my light bulb moment. It was like the heavens opened up, like the divine was sitting there. And I thought to myself, maybe what the gurus were training me, maybe what my company was training me, maybe they're just a bit outdated. Maybe it just didn't work as well anymore. And Tony said, you got to commit to mastery. He said, you got to commit to your family. You got to commit to master these skills, because here's the thing. I know you, like me, you also want to provide a great life for your family as well. That's why you came here. So here's the thing. I started to get really curious about what drives human behavior. Okay. Like the journey of understanding patterns in human beings. Because here's my question for you. Have you ever wondered, how is it possible? Like, how is it really possible that salespeople, okay, selling the same thing to the same prospects with the same price points, using the same script, how can they get completely different results? Have you ever wondered that yourself? Like, how's that even possible? So I started asking myself, well, what are the right questions to ask? What are the right skills? Like, how do I use my body language? How do I use my tonality to sell more? And maybe you've thought about that yourself. And how do I use, like, what are the techniques? What are the principles that would work with human behavior where my prospects would actually do all the work themselves rather than me trying to do it, where my prospects would actually sell themselves rather than me try to do it, where they would like overcome their own objections. Is that even possible? Where they would actually pull me in and actually do that themselves rather than me trying to push and pressure, because nobody likes that, right? You don't like to push and pressure. And as I committed to mastery, the right skills, as I committed to doing that, once I started learning those, selling became, let's just say, very, very easy and exceptionally profitable. Okay, now, why did I just tell you a little bit about my story? I'm not anyone famous, okay? In fact, I'm just like you right here watching me, okay? I'm someone that just realized very early on in my life that if I wanted to have a great lifestyle for my future family, as you know, it's obvious you can't follow the status quo and sell like all the other salespeople, right? We all know that, right? Yes or no in the chat. If we want to have a better life, we can't sell like everybody else. We all know that, right? And here's the thing. Unfortunately for me, my God, I don't know why God didn't do this for me. I wasn't born out of my mother's womb with advanced questioning skills. Type in me if you were born with advanced questioning skills. Nobody, right? Okay. I wasn't born with advanced tonality skills. Type in me if you're born with advanced tonality skills. And I wasn't born with advanced objection, prevention, and handling skills. You see, I had to acquire those skills. I had to commit to mastering those skills. So if I mastered them, a kid who grew up in the middle of Missouri, okay, on a cattle ranch outside of a town with less than 800 people can master those skills, what would that possibly mean for you? What would it mean for you? It means you can do the same thing. You can master the same skills when you learn them. You can produce 2, 3, 5 times what you're doing now, even if you're already doing well, okay? Now, I'm going to ask you this question. This is a very important question for you. Is selling something that you do to people, or is selling something you do for people? Selling something you do to people, or is selling something you do for people? Okay, I think, okay, this is the right room. It's for people, right? You're doing it for them, because if we have a belief system that selling is like something you're doing to them, like how good are you ever going to be at selling? Not very good, right? Now, why do I say that? Because if we believe you're doing it to them, like you're manipulating them, like it's something bad, and because you believe it's a bad thing, when you go to ask for the sale, what are you going to feel internally? You're going to feel nervous and you're going to have anxiety when you try to close. And you might have be wondering, like, have you thought that before as well? Now, why is that important for you to understand? Well, look at yourself. Okay, just even look at yourself. How many of you have ever talked with a salesperson and you had a problem that they could solve? You had a big problem. Their product or service could definitely solve it. You knew you should buy it. You knew you should do it. You could feel it, that it would completely solve your problems. It might even change your life for the better. And you knew it would do that, yet you still didn't do it. Type in me if that's ever happened to you. Type in me, okay? And how many of you ever been to an event like this? And maybe you're presented with something, maybe an idea you could incorporate. Maybe you could even have bought a training program that would help you sell more, or run your business better, or have a better relationship, or help you in some way. And you knew that it would completely change your life, completely change your results, yet you still didn't do it. Type in me if you've ever noticed you've done that. Now, everybody should be typing in me right now. Now, for a lot of people, that's called a what? That's called a pattern. Write down pattern. That's a behavioral pattern. So if you have patterns that prevent you from doing something that you know you should do, would that by default mean your prospects that you're selling to also have patterns that hold them back from buying from you? Would that mean the same thing? Yes or no? Even though they know they should buy it from you. Okay, now here's the question. Why do your prospects develop patterns that hold them back from buying from you? Who wants to know that? Why do they develop patterns, and how do we help them overcome it? It's because we all have this brain that's millions of years old, or whenever God put the first humans on the earth. I don't know, that's debatable. And the brain wasn't designed for us to thrive. It was simply designed for us to survive, to keep us safe. Now, why is that so critical for you to know about? Because anything that has the opportunity to move your prospect forward can be seen as a threat just because it's something new to them. It's unfamiliar. It's unknown to the brain. And remember, the brain was only designed to keep us safe, to keep us in the status quo, just like everyone else out there. But I don't believe you came here to stay in the status quo, did you? Yes or no? No, you didn't come here to stay in the status quo. So for the next few days, do we have your permission to help you understand maybe what's in you that might be holding you back from mastering selling? Let me know if we have your permission to do that. Because if we do that for you, where we can help you recognize your own patterns, that would then give you the ability to be able to do what with your prospects' patterns? What would it give you the ability? It would be able to give the ability to recognize their patterns. And if you can master, if we can show you to master how to recognize their patterns that hold them back from buying from you, and then teach you the techniques to help them overcome that, would that by default cause you to sell far more than you are now? Yes or no in the chat. Yes or no. Okay. Yeah. Now, why is it critical for you to master this right now? Why is it critical? Here's why. Write this down. Every objection you get, we need to think about it. I need to talk to my spouse if you sell to consumers. We don't have the budget. We don't have the money. I need to do more research. I need to keep looking around. Now's not a good time. Any objection you get, every prospect that does not buy comes down to the core of human beings have a fear of change. Write that word down, change. So whether your prospects, whether they're wanting something better, okay, whether they're wanting something up here better, and they're trying to move away from pain, it's all about change, okay? So it's about how good you are at learning how to get them to view in their mind that by them changing their situation, that means buying your solution, like what you're selling, them buying that is far less risky for them than them doing nothing at all, staying in the status quo, their problems stay the same, and nothing ever changes. I mean, in reality, which is more risky? You know the answer, right? Not doing anything, right? Now, whose job is it to master how to help your prospects overcome the fear of change? Whose job is that? Type in whose job is that in the chat. That's our job, right? That's ours as a salesperson. Because how many of you would trust yourself that you could sell far more if you just simply learned, how to do it? Type in me if that's you. Like you could sell far more. Like, you know that if you mastered this, you could sell 2, 3, 5 times what you are now, okay? And how many of you are not going to let the mind play tricks on you and hold you back from mastering this? Type in mastery if that's you, because that's what I would have. We're in the right room here. Now, why is it so crucial for you to master how to help your prospects overcome their patterns? Because you all have prospects that say, what? One day I'm going to do it. How many of you have prospects that say, someday when I have more time, I'll do it. I'll look at doing it then. I'll look at getting that insurance policy down the road. I'm healthy now. I'll look at, a better financial plan for my family. I'll look at, my company will look at your XYZ thing down the road. And where do all those prospects go? They go nowhere, right? Because that's the path that leads to where? Nowhere. But that's not this group. That's not you, right? Because this is an intelligent group. And you came here to what? You came here to master skills that you don't know yet. Would I be right? Yes or no? You came here to master how to sell to all the prospects who you're having a hard time closing right now. Type in mastery if that's why you're here. Type in mastery if that's you. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Before we get in this training here. What I'm about to share with you, starting right now and going into the rest of the day, tomorrow, the next day, is the one thing that allowed me to go from being like way below average my first year in selling. Okay, this was back in what, 2000, 2001, okay? To within 4 years of that date, I was making multiple 7 figures a year as a W-2 rep working for a company like you are, not as a business owner, but as a rep. So what I'm about to share with you today right now is something that no sales trainer, no speaker has ever even mentioned to you before. And why is that? Because 99.999% don't even know it because they have zero background in human behavior, human psychology, or if they do by chance know it, they don't want you to know it. They want to keep that to themselves. Here's the deal. I know you cannot master selling, influence, persuasion without what I'm about to show you. So I'm going to give it to you starting right now. What I'm about to go over with you today in the next few days took me 18 years of high-level training in the trenches as a salesperson like you, selling to prospects like you, working for companies before I retired and started this company. And I personally invested a bit under $900,000 of my own money to master it. Would you guys like to know what it is? Type in me if you want to know about it. Are you sure you want to know about it? Okay, I'm just making sure. All right. So as you heard from Anthony, I went to school to become a psychologist, okay? And I specialized in neuropsychology, which is the study of how the brain works with the human's nervous system. Now, why is it so important to understand how a human's nervous system works if you're trying to sell? Who in here has ever heard of fight or flight? Type in me if you've ever heard of fight or flight. All of you have, right? What causes a human being to go in fight or flight? What gets triggered? The nervous system. So how do I learn to stop that from happening? Okay. And we were taught as psychologists, come over here to the whiteboard. We were taught as psychologists that every human being sees the world in what we call frames. I want you to write down this keyword here. Write down the word frames. Everybody write this down right now. Write down frames. Okay. And what a frame is a belief system. Okay. And where do our belief systems come from? Primarily how we were raised, usually from the ages of like 4 to 13, by our parents, who we were around, maybe where we went to church, cousins we hung out with. Maybe your kids are being influenced by who they follow on TikTok, for heck's sakes, or worldview. That is their frame. That is their belief system. Everybody understand where I'm at. So your prospects might have a belief or a frame that they always need to think it over before they buy something. Who in here has ever got that objection? Type in me if that's you. So that's their frame. Like they believe they have to really think it over before they buy anything. Is that a belief system you want them to have? Yes or no? Probably not, right? Because how can you help them solve their problems if they never buy? You can't, right? We all know that, okay? So as a salesperson, we have to learn how to take them out of that belief system. That's called a D-frame. I want you to write down the word D-frame. It would just be like if I'm a psychologist and my patient has a belief system that unfortunately they want to end their life. For me to take them out of that, I have to deframe them. It's the same thing in sales. So write down deframe. I'm taking them out of that belief system, and then I'm going to reframe them, write down reframe, into a new belief system. Reframing is just the process. Who in here wants me to show you to reframe today and tomorrow? Okay. And we're going to reframe them into a new belief system of somebody who's a forward thinker who always wants to take action and knows that now's always the best time to buy. Who in here wants to learn how to do that? Type in me if you're that type of person, okay? All right, so when I say reframe, deframe, frame, we're all on the same page? Yes or no? I'm just making sure. Okay. Here, I'm going to ask you this question. What's the first question that you typically ask yourself when a salesperson first starts talking to you? What's the first question you start to ask yourself when a salesperson first starts talking to you? Could it be, how much is this gonna cost? Do you ever think about that? How much is this gonna cost? Well, why does your brain go there? Well, that's a whole nother training. Here's the thing. If you're thinking that, would that mean your prospects are probably thinking that as well when you first start talking to them? Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay, you guys get this, okay? So how do you master taking them out of that frame, okay? That is called, watch, you want to write this down. That's called price or cost-based thinking. So is this where you want them to think about the whole time? Price or cost-based thinking? Probably not, because we're not going to sell a ton. How do we reframe them into what? Write this down. Results-based thinking. Because remember, you're not selling your thing, right? You're selling the results of what your thing does. So type in me if you want to learn how to take them from price or cost-based thinking to results-based thinking, because by doing that, what does that do for us? They're just focused on the end result. So it makes the price look like what? Low, cheap. That means I don't get many price or too expensive objections. You guys getting this, okay? You guys are getting this. All right. Now, let's go to that next chart. Let's go to the next chart. You guys ready for this?
Does that feel good?
Yeah.
Something a professor wrote down in my Psych 3300 class my sophomore year was this, and he's paraphrasing Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud actually said a lot longer things, but he's paraphrasing. He said, people do who they believe they are. Write that down. People do who they believe they are. So if they believe that they have to think it over, they have to do whatever, they just do what they believe they are. So basically he's saying people make decisions based on the identity of who they believe they are. Type in me if you're getting this. Okay. All right, let's go to that chart, that NEPQ chart now. Perfect. All right. Now, today we're going to cover what are called NEPQ connection questions. All right. Everybody see that? So there's 5 stages of NEPQ. If you're not one of our clients, NEPQ stands for neuro emotional persuasion questions. Okay. And there's 3 reasons why we do this. I think you take the slide down real quick. Yeah. There's 3 reasons. Okay. Who in here is ready to hear some role plays from some of our top 1% clients? Would that help you guys? Okay, perfect. All right. So there's 3 reasons why we're going to ask these questions. Number 1, and we all know how to do this, take the focus off you, put it on them. I mean, every salesperson knows how to do that. We can't talk a lot. Everybody knows that. But number 2 and 3, this is where most people struggle, right here. How do you disarm the prospect to get their guard down? How many of you have noticed when you ask questions that you feel are good, your prospects give you a lot of what? Vague, generalized, surface level answers. Type in me if you've ever noticed that. Okay. So how do I get them to let their guard down when they open up? And number 2, how do I take them from price or cost-based thinking to results-based thinking? All right. Okay. Now we picked, so over the next 3 days, we picked about 2 or 3 clients randomly from several different industries. Okay. We train all industries now. According to Forbes, there's 163 verticals. We are in all of those at this point in all their subcategories. That's why we're ranked I guess we recently ranked the largest business to consumer sales training company in the world. I think the 3rd or 4th largest in the B2B space. So we're in every industry, everybody except underwater basket weaving. I think that's the only one we're not in. Maybe. Okay. I'm just kidding. Will it work for what I sell? Only unless you're an underwater basket weaving, it won't work for that. Okay. So when we show you these clients, every client we picked is now a top 1% salesperson in their industry or a 0.01%, like 1% of the 1%. Now, were they this way before they got into our training programs? Absolutely not. You're going to notice some of them are broke, like didn't have any money, and we just taught them how to sell, and now they're in the top 1% a year or 2 later, sometimes 6 months later. Sometimes it takes them a few years, okay? So is everybody ready for that? Type in me if you're ready for that. 1%. You guys ready for that? Okay, perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and pull up this first client. He volunteered, Caden Sanchez. We brought him out here. Maybe let's make that slide a little bit bigger if we can. We brought him out here a while ago. He's got obviously he's crushed it now, top 0.01% in his industry. And Anthony, what are the rules of the role play while we're waiting on this client? What are the rules of the role play, Anthony?
All right, team, spotlight me for a second. We'll bring Caden back. So everyone pay close attention. This is important. You understand this if you want the ability to role play over the next few days. I've got some rules. So rules, number 1, please have a working camera and a working mic. You'd be surprised. Sometimes we jump on and even though you're salespeople, you got like a microwave as a camera. Please, working camera, working mic. This is a
not this group. This is a high level group.
Yeah, this is a high level
working cameras.
Also, really important. You are not a client yet. You're not in our 2.0 mastery, our pro or our advanced inner circle. Please make sure you're not a client yet. We want to train somebody that doesn't already know this. So if that is you and you want to role play with Caden, type pick me and your industry. Pick me insurance. Pick me solar. Pick me B2B. I reckon we should introduce the man of the moment, Jeremy. So can everybody, as we do that, give it up and introduce with a massive warm welcome, Caden Sanchez. Give it up.
All right. Hey, Scott. All right, great. Hey, we've had you out a few other times after we've done these events, and a lot of people wanted to hear from you as well. Congratulations. Just for everybody that might not know you, because you're cool with the curly hair. Where do you live and what do you sell, Caden?
Yes, I'm in Salt Lake, and so I'm in Utah, and I sell insurance. So we're a brokerage, so like regular life insurance policies like general life, final expense, mortgage protection, all the way up to annuities.
Well, biggest industry we've trained last couple of years. That's great. Okay, I got to ask you the question, and I haven't even gone through it yet. Before you got into our mastery training programs, because you got several, were you and I haven't told this group what these are yet, were you a winger, dabbler, or know-it-aller?
Oh, I hate to even admit this, but I was definitely a winger.
The winger. All right. I love that. Now we obviously know you're committed to mastery. I'm going to also bring up something that you told me one time in an event, and I put a bullet point here to bring this up. I think this helps a lot of people because I believed in this lie when I first got started in sales.
Jeremy,
probably when you were. Go ahead.
Jeremy, I apologize. I just got to address something really quickly, guys. If you're spamming the chat, Mark Islander, I love you, but if you're spamming the chat, you're not going to get picked. So please stop spamming the chat so our team can actually select somebody. Thank you. Thanks for understanding.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. So I believe this lie as well when I first got into sales. I think a lot of people do. And I believe, like you told me, that, to be good at sales, you had to be like a natural born salesperson. And since you weren't born with
Yeah.
the gift of the gab, you just needed more time and more reps, more experience in sales, and eventually you would get good. And where did that take you?
It didn't take me very far, It took me because I'm naturally very introverted, and so I've never been very good at like small talk or talking to people, and it was super difficult for me. And the people that I was around at the time had all been in sales for a really long time, so I thought I was just going to have to do it for 15 or 20 years to even come close to them,
Well,
which is kind of funny.
what'd you find once you got into our mastery program? Like, what started to shift for you besides your income, I guess?
Yeah, my income for sure. But what started to shift was the conversations felt
Mhm.
natural, where like what they were teaching me, I was getting a lot of resistance. And then, it was like just focus on your mindset, memorize the lines, and getting into the mastery programs that gave me a structure where I could just I could adapt to the prospect I was actually talking to
Mhm.
and tailor the conversation to them. And then the conversations didn't feel like I was trying to like trick them, I guess.
Yeah. But nobody wants to do that in here. Type in me if you're like, hey, I don't want to trick people. I want to be authentic, but I also want to be able to help people. So type in me if you're the type of person that
Yeah.
got into sales because you want to help people. And without them buying, how can we help anybody? All right. So
Yep,
Caden,
exactly.
congratulations, team. Did we pick somebody yet?
Yes, we do. So, everybody, remember, no judgment. If somebody's role playing here, they've got a lot of courage to do that. If I see any negative Nancy's in the chat, you're getting booted out. I'll throw your dollar back at you. You can go be average somebody else. Type clear, and I've got somebody ready. So, everybody, give a massive welcome to Morgan Macy.
All right, Morgan. Well done, Morgan. All right, Morgan. Takes a lot of courage to get in front of, we've got 1,600 people on here so far already. So it takes a lot of courage to get on here. Morgan, where do you live and what do you sell?
I live in Fort Pierce, Florida, and insurance.
Okay, so you're insurance as well. Okay, what type of insurance?
Mostly final expense. I do health a little bit, but mostly final expense, life.
Yeah, big
The fun
space for
stuff.
fun stuff. We
Yeah.
love it. Big space source. Okay, so Morgan, here's what we're gonna do. And hey, takes a lot of courage to get in front of a lot of people. So well done. That's commitment to mastery right there. Okay, and we're gonna talk about that in a second. So in the role play, what I'm gonna have you do, Caden's gonna be the prospect. You're gonna be you. Okay. And I'm assuming you call purchase leads of some sort, correct? Okay. So it's going to be the very beginning of the conversation because we're going to work on disarming the prospect. Everybody type in disarming the prospect. So what I want to hear from you is just kind of the first, how you start that call, Morgan, like your first 3, 4, 5 questions and kind of what you're doing to kind of help get the guard down. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what you do well, because there's probably some things you do well that I want you to keep doing well. And if needed, do you want me to show you a few tweaks that might help you even more?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just a little bit nervous. So,
Hey, I'm
but
I'm
yeah.
nervous too. I get
Okay.
nervous when sometimes
Yes.
I get on stage in front of 10,000 people at a live event. I get nervous too. Is it just the nerves?
Yeah, I think it's just the nerves, but I'll be okay.
Yeah, that like I said, the brain always plays tricks on us, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But you're not gonna let the brain do that to you. Okay. Now,
No, not today.
everybody else, grab a pen and a piece of paper. And I want you to write down what she does well, what she can improve on. We're going to talk about, because here's the thing. Most people try to learn from their mistakes. And I think you guys get this. Morgan, you guys get this. You're smart. To learn from your mistakes, it takes years, if not decades, to try to figure all that on your own. We all know that, right? Here's one thing that a good mentor of mine once told me a long time ago. He's a billionaire now. His company's Utah Jazz plays in this, the Utah Jazz plays in the Vivint Center. It's the owner of Vivint, okay? Former owner, he bought out now. But he said the smartest people in the world do this. He said the top 1% of people, they don't learn from their mistakes. That's kind of crazy. They don't learn from their mistakes. Do you know who they learn from? They learn from other people's mistakes so they don't make the same mistakes themselves. Wow, that's big. Okay, smartest people, They want to be successful quickly. And that's why their learning curve is 100x faster because they don't want to wait months or years. Is everybody ready for that? Okay. All right. So Morgan, you're going to start the call. Caden, you're going to be the prospect. Morgan, why don't you tell a little bit about the leads you typically talk to so Caden knows?
Yeah, just give me a little bit of context so that I know what type of prospect to be, but very familiar with that
so
space.
they're
So.
normally final expense. So
Okay, H leads, exclusive leads, or
a little bit of both. It's mixed.
okay. Yeah, we'll just we can just call it an exclusive lead. We'll make it no big deal.
Okay. Morgan, you got this. You got this. You're going to do well. And then if needed, I'll show you any tweaks. Me and Caden will help you out. You're going to do great. Okay. All right. You ready? You got it, Morgan.
Yep.
All right, you ready? Just give me a ring, and then I'll act like I'm picking up the phone.
Okay. Ring.
Hello.
Ring. Hey,
Hello.
Kaden.
Yeah, this is him. Who's this?
Hey, Kaden. This is Morgan calling. I'm calling you about the final expense. Oh God, I'm sorry.
You're totally fine. Take a deep breath. No big deal.
Okay.
I completely get it.
Let
You want to start over?
Pretend that I'm just myself. Yeah. Okay. So ring.
Hello.
Hey, Kaden.
Yeah, this is him. Who's this?
Kaden, this is Morgan. I'm giving you a call about the final expense request for information that you put in online.
Oh, yeah. You know what? We actually already got that taken care of.
Oh, you did.
Thanks for calling, though.
Kaden, if I could just take a second of your time, I just wanted to know, who did you go ahead and get playing with?
I think it was XYZ company, but I'm not 100% sure. But we were happy with it. You just want to update it.
Awesome. So you went ahead and chose them. Is there a reason why you chose them?
That's just what they recommended. And it seemed like it would fit what we were looking for. And so, yeah, we're all good.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that you're happy. If you don't mind, if it was recent, if I could just go ahead and take 30, 45 seconds of your time and just kind of tell you what I do and see if I might be able to help you out a little bit more. And if not, we'll go our separate ways, but I'd love to have the opportunity to just, see if I can help you out.
Yeah, no, what company are you with?
So I have my own agency. It's Macy Insurance Solutions, but I work with the number one, all the highest carriers in our state. So I have several different carriers that I can offer you, and we have a lot of
like
different
you're
products.
a broker.
Yes, I'm a broker. There you go.
Okay.
You know something.
Yeah, well, that's what everybody keeps telling me.
Oh, okay. So you've had a lot of these calls.
Unfortunately, yes. It was like as soon as I turned
Gotcha.
65, that just started calling me off the hook.
Oh, okay. So that'd probably be mostly for Medicare. I can help you with Medicare as well if we make a good relationship. But for right now, if you would let me have 45 seconds of your time, I could see if I could put in a couple pieces of information from you and see what we could do.
Okay, I want to stop right there. All right. There were some good things you did and a few tweaks we're going to show you as well. Hey, great job on just getting in front of 1,500 people, strangers. Well, well done. Caden, first of all, Caden, what do you feel like she did well?
I think you did a good job of just staying calm. Even, you're nervous, and so that plays a part into it. But staying calm and just not giving up and asking for more time to, try and move the conversation forward. I thought that was good because a lot of people, they start to just over explain right there, and you didn't do that.
Yeah, and one thing you did well is there's a thing we're going to have you tweak right before you said this, but it's a disarming statement. You're like, if not, might not be able to help you when we go our separate ways. That's a disarming statement. We would call that selling the exit. You did good. We're just going to show you how to frame that a little bit better before you say that. Okay. Caden, what do you feel like she can improve on?
Yeah, I think you could improve on just having a little bit more structure to drive the call a little bit faster. Because right there in the beginning of the call, we want to make sure that we start creating a two-way dialogue and put the focus on who? The prospect. Right. And so by inviting like, hey, let me tell you a little bit of what I do, who is all the focus on? It's on you, right? And we want to make sure the focus is on them because who has the problems? They do. and we're here to help them solve them. And so I think if we just had, a little bit better structure of questions, that then you would know a little bit better where to go.
Yeah. And we'll show you
So
that
I
because
just
Katie's
like
gonna,
tried to start. I'm sorry.
what's
I
that?
just like I started switching things up recently from watching you and watching a few other people. And so I wanted to try to do a little bit of that. I was like trying to search for my new script that I made. So I was like
Yeah,
trying to kind of wing it a little bit.
okay, you've just been seeing like some basic reels. It's going to be hard from that because we don't do anything industry specific on there. So the first part of the call, you very calm. That's very good. Your cadence is good. We just got to get the right words there. So one thing we're gonna caution you to be very careful of is saying, just call in like and say, hey, is this Caden? And then you just stop because a lot of times people will be like, who is this? It just depends on their mood, right? And then the guard is automatically up. Now, some people won't do that. They're like, hey, how's it going? But you're going to have some people that will get triggered by that. So we want to we want to have more of a familiar tone. Caden, it's Jeremy, Jeremy Miller, calling you back. You asked us to call you back about, and then you're going to go into it. We're going to show you that here in a second, okay? Also, be very careful about calling you back about the information you asked about final expense, and then you just stop. Because typically when you stop, what are most leads going to say back? Something similar to Caden, right? Like, oh, we already have that. We don't remember that. You see what I'm saying? So like, if you're going that route, we have to keep going a little bit more to trigger that, to trigger curiosity, if that makes sense. And Caden will show you how to do that as well. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. And then he'll show you a little bit. We want to show you how to see doubt. So instead of saying, is there a reason why you chose them? When Caden role plays with you, I'm assuming it's gonna come up. He's gonna show you how to see doubt with your tonality and rework that question just a bit, where you actually see doubt rather than like cementing their belief that they're gonna tell you why they chose them, which just kind of cements that belief system of why they went that direction. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Caden, you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. So everybody pay attention to Caden's tonality, his body language. Do the questions start to disarm the prospect? Really let the guard down? Does he start to reframe them from price or cost-based thinking to results-based thinking? And Morgan, don't be an easy prospect. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Don't be easy. Okay? Don't be, everybody type in the chat. Don't be easy, Morgan. All right? All right. Here we go. Everybody pay attention.
Yep.
All right. Now, and then does everybody want me to break down what Caden does right after this? Yes or no? All right. Perfect. Here we go.
All right, perfect. Ring, ring.
What?
Ring, ring.
What?
Hey, Morgan.
Who's this?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, who's this?
Oh, I apologize. This is just Caden. It's Caden Sanchez. I'm just licensed with the state. It looks like I was just giving you a call back. It looks like you'd asked us to give you a call about possibly looking at like the state regulated final expense programs. Were you looking for yourself or a loved one?
Oh, yeah, I was actually looking for some stuff for my dad, but I think we might have
Oh,
it taken
okay, that
care
makes sense. Yeah, you're just looking
of.
for your dad. That's pretty easy. Were you just wanting to look at all the options, or like were you looking for something specific?
Yeah, I was wanting to, but I talked to somebody earlier today, and
Sure.
they seem to think that they can help me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and just to be clear, we might not be able to help. That's kind of why we reach out is to see exactly what we would be able to offer. Were they like did they think that he couldn't get qualified, or was it just going to be too expensive, or what happened?
Well, yeah, he's got a lot of health issues, and he's been denied in the past. And I was on the phone with him for like 2 hours earlier, so I'm
Oh,
kind of
geez. Well, I unfortunately don't
yeah.
have that much time, so I can't stay for that long. I actually have another appointment that's going to be coming up. But just so you know, in terms of health concerns, there's always options regardless of health. It just depends on what options are going to be the best ones. But it doesn't like even if he's like has cancer or something like that, there's typically options. And so, it just depends on exactly what you guys are looking for and what you already have to see if what we have would make sense. Are you with me there?
Yeah, I am. Just like I said, I've already done so much with them. It seems
Yeah.
like it would just be
It,
another headache.
It sounds like you got looking and you got like you wanted to get it in place, but you just have talked to people and it's getting kind of frustrating. And it's like, okay, I
Yeah,
want the coverage, but I also don't want to deal with it.
yeah, yep.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. No worries. We see that all the time. You're in the right place. It's pretty typical that we'll just spend a couple of minutes here to see what we qualify for. And then if we can't help you, we can just go our separate ways. And if we can go over next steps from there. Okay.
Call me tomorrow.
Let me double check my calendar here. Just while I'm pulling that up, let me get some of the basic information just to make sure it would even make sense in the first place. And then we can go from there. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so in terms of your dad's health, walk me through. I see here, I'm guessing this is his birthday on here because it doesn't sound like you don't sound 69 years old. You sound much younger. Is this his birthday here?
Yeah, yep. That's him.
Okay, perfect. And does he
Okay, I want
smoke
to
using
stop. I want to
tobacco?
stop 1 second. I want to stop saying this is really good. Now, this time, this is really good. So I'm gonna break down what Caden just did here in a second. You guys might have saw a few things. I want to show you there's some really nuanced things there. Well done, Caden. This time, Morgan, you're gonna say when you answer the phone, like, oh, we already have a policy, because that's a big thing you're gonna get. So when you answer the call this time, we're gonna do a quick role play on this, like it's gonna be 30 seconds. Just say, oh, we already have a policy. Okay. And I want everybody to pay attention how Caden disarms that and then starts to seed doubt. You ready? Be a tough cookie, Morgan. Here we go.
All right, ring ring. Oh, I can't hear you for some reason.
You got to answer, Morgan.
I know, I realize.
Ring ring.
Hello.
Hey, Morgan.
Hi, who's this?
Yeah, hey, Morgan. It's just Caden Sanchez. I'm just licensed with the state. I was just getting back to you. It looks like you'd asked us to give you a call about possibly looking at like the state regulated final expense plans. Were you looking for yourself or a loved one?
Oh, yeah, we got that taken care of.
Oh my goodness, I apologize. I don't know what. Have you guys still been getting calls about this?
Yeah, we got it taken care of a few weeks ago now. I
Jeez
don't know anything.
Louise, that sounds frustrating. You're telling me you didn't sign up for a million phone calls?
No, I did not.
Well, let me help you out with that and get it updated over here. What carrier did you end up getting set up with?
Mutual of Omaha.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're a pretty good company for sure. Let me get that update. Oh, um,
It
huh.
is,
Is your birthday, it looks like you're born in 1960, is that correct?
no, that's my dad.
Oh, was the policy for him or was it for you?
Yeah, no, the policy's for my dad.
Oh,
But like I
okay.
said, people keep calling. If you could take me off your list.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get it updated here. The only reason I ask, Mutual Omaha is a great company. Um, just typically people that are like his age, there's usually better options. Did you guys like look at all of the options, or what made you decide to go that route?
They just asked me some questions and told me which policy would work best for me. They just told
Oh,
me what company to go with.
oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds a little bit odd if he was born in like 1960. Yeah, typically there's just better options in that scenario. Let me just get it pulled up here real quick and just double check it. It takes maybe 2, 3 minutes and just make sure that was actually the best thing and you guys aren't overpaying, okay?
Okay, will this take long?
No, it just takes a couple minutes. I actually have another appointment coming up, so I actually don't have too long. I was just trying to update it. But I'll double check, make sure you guys aren't overpaying here real quick.
All right, let's
Let me
stop
just
there. Let's stop there. Good. Okay. All right. Now, okay. So, Morgan, what did you notice was maybe a little bit different?
From what he did from what I did?
Yeah.
Well, just that he didn't, well, no, I don't know. I think he was smoother about it. Um,
He was what?
but he he was more smooth about it. I don't know. He would just seemed like he was more friendly, I suppose. And
Would you say he was more disarming? A little bit more disarming for your
yes,
guard witness? Okay. Now, let's talk about what he did there to be disarming. So, Caden, right when you first called instead of like most salespeople, hi, my name is, I'm with XYZ. Tell us why you started that with, it's Caden, Caden Sanchez. You asked us to call you back. Why did you use that familiar tone? Why do we train you how to use that familiar tone? What does that do?
Yeah, because the familiar tone, your tone is communicating your intent. And so the familiar tone, what's happening is immediately they start going through their brain like, hold on, how do I know this person? How do I know this person? And it makes it very difficult for them to, get defensive or hang up on you.
Does that make sense to everybody? So our brains, so human beings, our brains recognize patterns, right, Morgan? So what would be a pattern that most prospects are used to from salespeople calling them all the time? Hi, my name is, I'm with XYZ. See that pattern, that same monotone patterns? Everybody, it's kind of like the telemarketing patterns. Everybody getting this? And our brains instantly, like the guard goes up. With the familiar tone, like we taught him how to do, it's triggering curiosity. Does that make sense, Morgan? Where now you're like, well, who's Caden? How do I know Caden? Like it's a pattern interrupt. It's interrupting the pattern. And did you notice how instead of ending it with, you called about final expense and stopped, he said, yeah, you were calling about, you filled in some information about requesting different options for, for some final expenses to pay when you pass. Were you looking for you or more for a loved one? See how he made the statement and then he asked a question at the end. Now, Caden, why would we train you how to do that?
Yeah, especially with insurance, people, because they're getting a lot of calls, they get defensive. So if you don't ask a question right there, then you lose control of the call. And so the question, it immediately puts the focus on the prospect and their problems, it creates a two-way dialogue. But also what you have as the sales rep is you have control of the call, which is then going to disarm the prospect because they know that they don't have to lead the call. You're here to help them.
Yeah. And did you feel that, Morgan, when you kind of pushed back, you're like, oh, we already have somebody for that. There's probably nothing you could do. And he immediately said, oh, yeah. And just so you know, we might not even be able to help you. That's a disarming statement. Okay. So what that means is he's selling the exit. Because when he says like, oh yeah, I apologize, I'm going to get a few minutes before my next appointment. That's called selling the exit. Everybody write down selling the exit. So he's selling the exit, meaning your guard starts coming down because you don't feel like he's going to sit there and take a lot of time. Now, as he gets into the conversation and starts to build that gap, Morgan, and where you start to, from where you are to where you want to be, and you start to recognize you have problems, you lose track of time. And remember, is selling something you do to people or is selling something you do for people? To people, or am I doing this to them or am I doing this for them? Somebody tell me. Morgan, what am I doing? To or for? Doing it for them. Because if we can't get their guard down, how do we help them solve their problem? Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. And then there's a lot of other things that he did in there. And when Morgan, remember when you said like, oh, we've been getting a bunch of calls on this. Did you see how his tone shifted into that playful tone? And he said, oh, geez, have you guys been getting a lot of phone calls or what's been going on? Let me take care of that for you. And instantly, even in a role play, you laughed. Now, Caden, when we use that playful tone that we teach in our mastery programs, and you get them to laugh, what does that release in the brain?
Yeah, it starts to release dopamine.
Yeah. Does that make sense, everybody? It releases what's called dopamine, which calms the nervous system. Type in me if you're getting what we're throwing down here, okay? So, Morgan, if by default we calm the nervous system, that means we disarm the prospect. Does that make sense? Yeah? You with me?
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Okay. Are you ready to master this now?
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay. I haven't asked you. I haven't asked you guys yet because I haven't brought it up. But are you a winger, dabbler, know-it-all, or are you committed to mastery? Committed to mastery. All right. That's what I'm here. All right, everybody, give it up for Morgan. Caden, anything you'd like to add to that?
No, I will just say that Morgan, you are significantly better than I was when I started the programs. Most of you guys wouldn't believe where I started from. And so commit to mastery. Thank you, coach. You changed my life. And I appreciate you. My family appreciates you.
100%, man. We love you. All right. Take care. Morgan, everybody get it for Morgan and Kate. Well done, everybody. Everybody get him in. Well done. This is what I love. This is what we do. And let's go to that next slide because, Tony Robbins says this a lot. So I'm in a mastermind with Tony. It's called the Zenith Group. They don't advertise it. There's 30 of us. It's above their platinum. It's above their Lines group. It's by invite only. You have to still pay 250 grand a year, which I would gladly pay more than that for the connections you get there. And one thing that Tony said at an event one time is he said this. He said, to influence a human being, you have to master how to emotionally connect with them. Now, I like to take that a step further within the sales process. Okay. And I want you to write this down. In order to master sales and persuasion, you have to master how to emotionally connect with that prospect where they feel like you understand them, their needs, their desires, their wants, even their fears, and step into their world without buying into their story of why they can't do it. So we have to master that unique ability to step into the world, appreciate them without buying into their limiting beliefs, without buying into their story that prevents them from buying from you. Because if they don't buy from you, can you really solve their problems? Yes or no? Yes or no in the chat? Now, the question is, how do we emotionally connect? And why is that so critical for you to master if you're wanting to sell more? Now here, most of it has to do with this. Most of it has to do with your tonality and your body language, even if they cannot see you. So there's 5 types of tonality. We showed you a couple there. The first one, let's go to that first one there, is a curious tone. There's going to be certain questions where we have to ask it. Oh, so walk me through. What are you using now for? That's a curious tone. There's a, let's go to that next one. There's a confused tone. Well, hold on. How did you mean when that happened? Confused tone in certain context. There's also, sometimes we're going to ask a challenging tone. Now, we're not going to do that at the very beginning of a conversation, right? And then there's sometimes we're going to ask more of a concerned tone, a tone that shows empathy. And then sometimes we're going to use a playful tone. Now, there's subcategories of each tone, but your tone, let's go to that next thing. Your tone is how the prospect interprets your intention behind everything you say and you ask. Now, type in mastery. If you're the type of person that knows, you have to master tonality if you want to sell 2 or 3 times what you are now. Type in mastery if that's you. Type in mastery if that's you. Okay. All right. Anthony, I'm going to turn over for you for a second. I know there's a exercise we're going to have everybody do real quick, and I think it's really going to open them up. And we got a couple more role plays after that. You want to make sure you stay tuned, Anthony. Let's bring Anthony back up, baby.
All right. Shake and bake. How amazing is Morgan? Give it up one more time for Morgan in the chat. Morgan, you're amazing. Okay, you're amazing. You've just set the standard for the rest of the 3 days. And as Jeremy mentioned, I wanted to share something with you all. So I just got back from the US about a week ago, was in Miami, and opened up my wallet today and I found a $100 bill and a penny. For all my Aussies in the house, this is American currency. Costs a lot more than Australian. So for this exercise, let me show you both of these things. For this exercise, this $100 bill is going to represent my fortune. Everybody type in the chat, fortune. Everybody type in the chat, fortune. And this penny is going to represent my lack. Everybody type in the chat, lack. Everybody type in the chat, lack. You guys picking this up? All right, Tom, I see you. Joshua, I see you. Anitra, I see you. So which one is bigger? The penny or the note or the bill? Which one is it? It's obviously the $100 bill, right? Which one is bigger? Which one is worth more? Let me know in the chat. Which one is worth more? My fortune, absolutely. So the question I have for all of you watching us today, does it seem realistically possible that I can hide this $100 bill behind the penny without manipulating the bill? Realistically, does that seem possible? Guys, help me out in the chat. Does it seem possible? Yes or no? A lot of no's in the chat. Everybody type unless. Everybody type unless. Everybody type unless. Unless my lack is closer to my eye and my fortune is within an arm's reach. Because look what happens when my lack is closer to my eye and my fortune is within an arm's reach. Who's picking up what I'm putting down? When my lack is closer to my eye You can't see it. You can't see it. Who's picking this up? You cannot see it. Are you guys getting this? So even though the $100 bill is right there, if my lack is closer to my eye, I can't see it. So if I'm focused on my lack, I can't have the fortune that is literally right in front of me. And the reason I share this with you all is if you cannot see it, you cannot seize it. If you cannot see it, you cannot seize it. Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? See, so many of us are so focused on the lack. They're so focused on what's right in front of your eyes that we literally can't seize the opportunities that are right in front of us. And if you can't see it, you can't seize it. And for many of you, your parents, the government, the schooling system, they've been stacking rolls of pennies in front of your eyes for decades. So you literally can't see the fortune that's right there in front of you. That is why we all need someone like Jeremy. That is why we all need to be surrounded by people like this that are playing life at a higher level, that can tell you that your lack is as worthless as a penny. You need to be around a group of people playing life at a higher level than you. You guys picking up what I'm putting down? Type yes in the chat if you guys are getting this. You must remove the pennies from your eyes so that you can get the abundance that is yours. Remove the pennies. And right now, I need you to tell me in the chat. Right now in the chat, tell me, what are your pennies? What are the pennies that are in front of your eyes right now? What is stacked up in front of your eyes, preventing you from seeing your fortune? Doubt. Fear, says Kristen. Past failure. Thank you for your honesty. That is what I love about traveling. Opening up the perspective and broadening the horizons. Look what everyone's writing. I just got laid off. I have uncertainty. I lack self-belief. I've got nervousness, fear of failure, effort, burnout. Are you guys seeing this right now? Are you seeing this word cloud? Are you realizing that everything right here, right now, is literally between you and your fortune, between you and the life you know you're meant to live? All of this. But the good news is you can move them. You can move them. You can remove your own pennies. So everybody type in the chat right now, remove the pennies. Everyone type in the chat, remove the pennies. Because I promise you, once you remove this from in front of your eyes, your fortune becomes available to you. Remove the pennies, remove the pennies, remove the pennies. Remove the pennies. So let's remove those pennies together over the next few days. Who is ready to let go of the lack? Grab a hold of your fortune and say, I've got it. Type I've got it in the chat. Type I've got it in the chat. Type I've got it in the chat. And now that your pennies are removed, Jacob, they're removed. Ryan, they're removed. Nick, they're removed. Jonathan, they're removed. Shilpa, Josh, Angelica, Chelsea. Now we welcome your fortune. Give yourselves a massive round of applause, everybody. Give yourself a massive round of applause. Jeremy, what are your thoughts on that?
What are we focusing on? Our lack, or do we focus on our fortune? And some of you went through that exercise, and you might have felt or thought about some times in your life where you really had an opportunity, maybe to get trained, maybe to learn something that would help you in your career. And instead of like taking that by the horns and doing something with it and focusing on your fortune, you might be thinking like, maybe I really focused on my lack. And now you might be thinking like, hey, how do I focus on my fortune? Like, what do I need to do? Would that be right? Type in me if you're kind of thinking that right now. Okay. So what we're going to do here real quick, I'm going to go over 4 types. Let's go to that next slide here. I'm going to go over, there's 4 types of salespeople. There's 4 types of business owners, 4 types of entrepreneurs, 4 types of anybody in life. And then we're going to get in some crazy role plays here in a minute. Okay. And maybe take a look at where you are now, like here, compared to where you want to be. The first type That's the winger. So write down the winger. Now, you know the type. The wingers, they wing everything, right? So they say something different to every prospect. They don't really know what works. They don't know what doesn't work. And when they don't make many sales, who do they typically blame? Who do they typically blame? The prospects. My leads are bad. The leads are broke. They never blame their lack of skill level. And where do most of these salespeople go? They get fired. Now, I'm not saying any of you are a winger, okay? The second type, this is the dabbler. Now, you know the dabbler. They buy a few sales books every year. Maybe they come to an event like this. Maybe they buy a cheap sales training course for a couple $100. Maybe they even follow somebody like me on some basic, IG reels, like free IG reels or YouTube or free LinkedIn stuff. And they believe the lie that if they just stay in long enough, if they just get enough reps, that eventually, hopefully one day they'll figure it out, which we all know that's not a strategy, right? We know that that strategy would take years, if not decades. And most salespeople are here. And that's why they're average. If they ever get halfway good, it's because they're forced to play the numbers game. They work 10, 11, 12, 14 hours a day, and they eventually burn out. That's the dabbler. Now, I think all of you know someone who's a dabbler in sales intimately, don't you? Now, the third type, this is the know-it-aller. Okay, you know the type who's a know-it-aller. They initially invested quite a bit of funding in sales training. They got good. They got up to 6 figures a year. Maybe they got up to multiple 6 figures a year, 2, 3, 4, 500,000 a year. Then, unfortunately, what crept in? They got a big, what? Head. They got a big ego. Thought they knew everything there was to know about selling persuasion. They stopped investing in their skill level, and their income goes where? It gets capped. That's the know-it-aller. And I'm not saying any of you are a know-it-aller. And then the fourth type. These are the ones who are committed to mastery. They invest in their skill level all the time. They put major funding into it because they know they don't want to learn from their mistakes. They're smart like you, right? They want to learn from other people's mistakes so they don't make the same mistakes themselves. Think about that. They want success now. Why would they do that? They don't want to wait months or years. Their learning curve is 100 times faster because these reps know this, that training is not something you did in the past. Training is something you do daily from somebody who's mastered it themselves if we want to be at the top, right? We all know that, right? And these are the reps who are in the top 1% or higher. Now, Anthony, I want to do a Zoom poll here to see where we're at as a group because we're all in this together, right? Can we do a Zoom poll real quick, see where we're at?
Yes, we can. Okay. And everybody be honest. So which type of salesperson have you been? Be honest with us. Type in the chat A if you're a winger. Type the letter B in the chat, the dabbler. C if you're a know-it-aller. And if you close 100%, you close 100%, you've mastered selling, nothing more to learn. I don't think anybody's in this room like that. So let's see, Jeremy. Should we see the results?
Let's see the results. What do we got? What do we got?
Sheesh kebabs. Look at that.
Okay, so we got 16%. Yeah, so most salespeople right here, they're dabblers, right? So that's now, is that why you guys are here? To not be in that range? And I think we have 3% that say they close 100%. They've mastered selling. And what would they be? Those type of people that say that, what would they be in the chats? They would be what is called a what? A know-it-aller. Would we say, right? A know-it-aller. Now I know nobody on here is a know-it-aller. Because even when I was making close to $3 million a year in straight commissions as a W-2 rep, I was still wanting to learn. I was still investing in my skill level. You guys see the difference, okay? Because here's the thing, type in mastery if you're the type of person who's committing to mastery in sales. Type in mastery if you're the type of person like, hey, I got to master this. I got people depending on me. Because what's the number one thing that determines your income as a salesperson? Or if you own the business, is going to determine how big your company becomes or if it stays at the top. What's the number one thing that's going to determine that? What's the number one thing? Your skill level. Would we be right? Yes or no? Your skill level is going to determine that, right? Okay, we got that. All right. Anthony, I think we're ready for another role play here. Let's bring out this client. We had him out here, I don't know, I think one of the last ones we had maybe 4, 5, 6 months ago, maybe 3 months ago. We've had a few of these last year. And then what's the rules of the role play? Because we're going to do this role play. What's the rules of the role play, Anthony?
All right. Rules of the role play. Same as always, everybody. Really important. Number one, you've got a working camera turns on, working microphone, good audio, not a client yet. If that is you, type in, what should we type in this time? Let's type in,
type it, something different.
Let's type in role play and your industry. Type role play industry. Role play industry. Please don't spam the chat. And let me give a massive warm welcome to the man himself. And you know, Jeremy, what I love about this next guy, Jim Newcomb. Do you remember the first event we ran 3 years ago, Sales Mastery Summit? Guess who was sitting in the front row as a client of ours in the Advanced Inner Circle?
A brand new client. This
the
guy
one,
right
the
there.
only, Jim Newcomb. Give it up for him, everybody.
Congratulations. All right, Jim, congratulations, my friend. I know you don't brag. I did Google, I didn't Google, I put it in ChatGPT based off your earnings, where that ranks you in your industry. And you're in the top 0.001%. So that's like 1% of the 1% of the 1%. Well done, sir. Wasn't always that way though. Where do you live and what do you sell, my friend?
So I live in Tampa, Florida, and I sell B2B, but I'm in the SaaS space. So I sell like complex technology deals.
Perfect. Yeah. SaaS is probably the 6th or 7th largest industry we train now. So well done on your results. Congratulations. We can pull that testimonial back up. I was reading this the other day. You got a bunch that you've put in there. Before you got into our mastery training, were you I'm going to ask you, a winger, dabbler, or know-it-all?
I don't want to admit it. I would say I was a dabbler who had convinced myself I was at the know-it-aller level, but I was definitely a dabbler.
Okay. And how did you go from dabbler to mastery? I know you got into our training programs, but what was the one or two really big things?
I would say the absolute biggest thing in B2B, which a lot of people in B2B don't understand this because they think, oh, it's all logic and that's just how it works and all of this. Probably the biggest thing was how you showed me how to use tonality to really emotionally connect with people. Like once I learned that, like that was the unlock that I would say changed the most. And then also just how I restructured NEPQ into my multi-step sales process. And it about tripled my conversion. So I would say it worked pretty darn well.
Not bad. Who in here wants to triple your conversions? Because he did that within about a year. He's already tripled. Yeah. I think even less time than that. Got stock options in his company. He's doing well. Congratulations. Yeah. Because I'm assuming that, CEOs of large companies, I sold B2B, 2 of the 4 industries I sold in were in B2B. One was in high level enterprise, the 4 spaces I sold in as a salesperson. And they would always tell me like, oh, it's just all logic. There's no emotion. I'm like, well, does the CEO not have a brain? Like, everybody makes decisions emotionally and then justifies with logic. So what you're saying is you haven't learned yet how to get them to open up to you. Oh, okay. So we have to learn how to do that. Is everybody saying that? Like that sells B2B, like, okay, I haven't learned how to get them to want to open up to me. Once we learn how, because they're just as human as anybody else, selling becomes pretty easy. All right, let's do it. Do we have somebody, Anthony? Who are we pulling up to hear the role play?
The team are just confirming the mic. Probably another 20 seconds.
Okay. We got to get that mic up. Okay, so I'm reading here the advanced tonality, okay, the cadence. Let's go to that next slide. There's something he said on this next slide that I saw. What's another big thing that the master trainer really helped you get to that high level?
I can't quite see that, but I'll tell you what it was, is when you explained and obviously having you help me write the script may have helped a little bit too, right? In IC, but when you helped us understand that people's frames of like their emotional perspectives of how they see things, that guides their decision making. I started being able to identify those on discovery calls. And then what did I do with that on a software demo? I knew exactly which like thoughts and feelings they had that I need to reinforce. So they want to buy the software, and which things I need to deframe and reframe. So if they have beliefs that would have stopped them from getting my system to solve their problems, that I could change that too.
Type in me if you're the type of person that knows you have to master this because you don't want to stay where you're at right now. Type in me if you're that type of person that knows you're not staying in the status quo. You're going to get to the highest level because you've got people, your family, you got other people depending on you mastering your skills. Type in me if you're that type of person. All right, perfect. All right. So the beginning now, so in this role play that we're going to do while we're bringing somebody up is I want you to focus, Jim, and I think you have like a recording that you said like,
Yeah.
hey, I'll just record a sales call for you guys to hear. Who in here would want to hear an actual live prospect? Type in me if that's you. If you'd actually want to hear an EPQ in action, because I was like, hey, just why don't you record some? He's like, yeah, I'll just record one of my sales calls. Okay. And so Jim volunteered to do that, record one of his sales calls. We made sure it's compliant and everything like that. We got to blur the face out to make sure it's all compliant. So when we bring up the client, we're going to have the client role play on you, and we're going to mainly focus on let's do inbound this time. Type in me if you sell and you get inbound leads that maybe come in on Zoom. Maybe you meet them in the office. Maybe you meet them in the home. Type in me if you do that. So this example, we're going to work on connection questions for inbound. Okay, do we have somebody, Anthony?
We do. Everybody give it up for Shelly.
All right.
Shelly.
We got the lady bosses dominating today. I like that. That's well done. All right, Shelly, takes a lot of courage to get in front of, 1,500 plus people here. Where do you live and what do you sell?
Yeah, I live in Canada. I'm on Prince Edward Island, so that's the east coast of Canada. I sell B2B SaaS. Specifically, I actually own the company, and we're an early stage company, and I sell to tourism bureaus. So I'm selling a SaaS product to tourism bureaus.
Easy, big space for us. Like I said, I think the sixth or seventh largest industry we're trying is SaaS and all the categories. Okay, so in this example, what I want you to do is just focus on, now I'm assuming you sell virtually where they show up on Zoom or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the same thing. So I want to show them kind of the tweaks that you would do for inbound. There's obviously tweaks if you sell in the home, or there's little tweaks if you sell like in person in a business, or if you're door to door. There's little tweaks in these connection questions. We teach you guys all this like in our like client training programs, mastery programs. So we're going to show you a few examples. So in this example, just start like you would normally start your Zoom call. And what I want to hear from you is typically the first 3, 4, 5 questions that you're asking to take the focus off you, put it on them, to disarm them, to get their guard down, and to start reframing them from price or cost-based thinking to results-based thinking. You with me? Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm going to show you what you do well. That way you keep doing that. And then if we need to, do you want me to show you a few tweaks that could help?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, tell Jim a little bit about kind of the prospect you're talking to, and then we'll get started.
Yeah, so the prospect I'm speaking to is either for a small tourism bureau, it's going to be the CEO. For a larger one, it's going to be the director of marketing. And they always have to report back to a committee or to other stakeholders. This is one of the things I want to learn about, is how to move this process forward. With keeping that in mind, I can never make a sale on the first call. It's not a reality for my, yeah.
That's pretty normal for B2B. It depends what you sell, but pretty normal. Jim, what happened to your sales cycle? How long was it before you got into mastery programs compared to how long it is now?
So my sales cycle, it decreased by about 20%, but it shortened, but it was more that because I knew what to do in those steps, like I'd said, the actual close rate had tripled and the average deal size went up by 50%. So if the close rate triples, you do the math on that, it's selling just a little bit more of that accelerator commission, which
type
is
in
pretty nice.
Type in mastery if you want those results. Type in mastery if you want those results. Okay, Shelly, you ready to roll?
Sure, yeah.
Hey, you're gonna do well.
We'll say I'm ready.
Courage. You're gonna do well. All right, here we go.
All right. Yeah, so we're on a Teams call. Hey Jim, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to speaking with you.
Yeah, well, I would love to learn a little bit more about Destination Ohio and how you are currently, I took a look, you guys get easily 500,000 website visits every month, and that's fantastic. You guys are killing it there. But I'd love to know how you're measuring when people come to your site, they look around, and then like where do they go when they're done on your site? You don't have a way for people to book their trips right on your site. So they have to
I mean,
bounce
we
to
have,
Expedia or Booking or
yeah,
something.
we have things we can do though. I mean, I don't know if that's, I was involved in designing the site. I'm not unhappy with it. I just want to see if there's like, what would be the main way you guys could help us improve?
Well, I'd love to hear about what are these things that you can use to measure
Yeah.
that. So you're saying you have ways of measuring that. What are you currently doing?
I mean, we just have like some, I don't know, like really basic analytics. Like I have members of my team, just because I'm the COO, so I don't really actually like know, I would say, but I have some members of my team that do it, and I had a committee that said we needed to look into this. So
Yeah, I would imagine that that committee told you need to look into this because just basic analytics isn't going to cut it. What they probably haven't told you is that when somebody leaves your site, they take their data with them, right? So as soon as they leave and they go to booking.com or Expedia, that's it. You can't track where they're going. And that leaves you unable really to report to your stakeholders and to say, we drove this much traffic to
yeah.
your facility. Yeah.
Oh, you can, how would you fix that?
Yeah, so well, the way we fix that is we give you this white label product
Yeah.
and we keep people on your site. And by keeping them on your site and giving them a way to interact with your assets on your site, now
Sure.
you have a way of actually measuring what they're buying. Yeah.
Okay. How much does it cost? Because we have a budget,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've kept that in mind. You see, our pricing's scalable, so it really depends on how many assets you have, how big are
yeah.
you, and how much traffic do you have. So,
What would
uh,
be like the lower
yeah.
end, would you say?
So how many assets do you have? These are your
Uh,
listings, things to do, places to go, and where to
say
stay.
probably couple hundred.
Couple hundred.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great because we're an early stage product, an early stage company. So at full price, that would be a $4,000 a year contract. But because we're taking on pilot partners right now,
Mhm.
we can get you on board for $2,000 for the first year. And if you commit to a 3-year contract, then we can do even better than that.
Okay, let's
Committing to a
stop there. Let's
contract.
stop there. All right, good. Okay, good. Okay, Shelly, there's some things you did well. I'm going to show you a few tweaks. First,
Fantastic.
first of all, I think you did really good with you're very confident, so that's good. You showed it showed certainty with what you're offering. I like that. So you did well in that. You gave them a
Okay.
good compliment about how you're on your website and they were getting 500,000 views and XYZ. I thought that was good. Jim, what do you feel like she did well?
I actually, yeah, I think you're just like a very poised and professional person. Besides showing me up with your vastly superior hairstyle, I think you clearly also know your stuff, right? So I
Yeah.
think
It's
those
pretty
were some
hard to
good
have a
things for
great
sure.
hairstyle when you don't have hair. Yeah.
Don't rub it right in, Shelley. Good
Rub
call.
it right in. All right. I love that. Okay, so Jim,
Yeah.
what do you feel like she can
Sorry,
improve
Jim.
on? No, that
Thanks.
was
So,
actually
so there's a couple, yeah, so there's a couple things in that connection phase
Okay.
that we really want to avoid doing.
Okay.
And so there's like one, for example, you probably don't want to start out by thanking me for my time because that could cause
Right.
me as the prospect to feel like my time's more valuable than yours, even though you can solve my problem.
Okay.
So there's that would be one. And then
let's
another
talk
like
about that for a
cost,
second, Jim. This is good.
yes.
I want to let's talk about that, and then I'm going to turn it back over to you. Now, the question is, why is Jim saying that to you? Because our
Right.
mothers told us we got to be polite to strangers, right? So
Right.
it
Right.
makes sense that we got to be polite in a business setting, though. Who has the problems? You were the prospect.
The prospect has the problems.
Who has the solution to solve those? You were the prospect.
I have the solution.
Okay. So when you, like Jim says, when we enter a call, we're like, hey, I'm so grateful that you took the time to meet with us. What
Yeah.
we're subconsciously doing in that prospect's brain is basically it's communicating to their subconscious that you value their time far
Hmm.
more than they should value your time.
Right.
And is everybody getting this? So subconsciously, it shows them that you're a salesperson and that you value their time and they can kind of do whatever they want with you. Because have you ever noticed that sometimes you get some prospects that kind of ghost you? They just kind of treat you like you're just out there and they commoditize you. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah.
So we want to start that a little bit differently. Jim's going to show you how to do that, what we trained him, but that's one thing. Jim, keep going.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then like we also in that first like connection phase, like minute, 2 minutes, something like that, we definitely want to keep the focus on the prospect and don't let them like start asking you, because a lot of prospects will do
Right.
that. So you definitely would want to maybe like, oh, what did you see that caused you to want to book in today, right? Or have more of a conversation, something like that. And
Yeah.
then I thought that it kind of you could work that in of, oh, I saw you had this many visits. That does at least show some authority and expertise. But when you started telling me, a C-suite executive with possibly a big ego, how I'm
Yeah.
doing, ooh, you could get
Push
in
back.
trouble
Okay.
with that.
Do
Yeah.
you see how
Okay.
Shelley, what he's saying is that you were starting to tell him his problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when we tell prospects problems, they go in one ear, out the other, right? Does everybody get that?
Okay.
It's like telling grandma, hey, stop smoking, grandma. But grandma never stops smoking because we're telling them and it goes in one ear, out the other. So we have to format our questions where they allow the prospect to tell themselves the problems and why they have those problems. So, I'm going to have Jim role play this like the very beginning with you, and then we're going to play a recording of him on a live sales call. Okay. And he'll kind of walk you through. There's a
Great.
couple other things though, Jim. Show her a couple other things that you noticed.
A couple other things. It's like it went by in a blur, Jeremy. There
Okay.
were a couple of other
I've got
things.
it. I've
Oh,
got it.
when the well, so just one, the pricing, right? Because a lot of prospects will do that of like, how do you solve it in the pricing, right?
Right.
It was when you want to reframe it into, oh, like when they, especially at the front end, what you have to do is, oh, we'll go over all that for you, right? So
Okay.
they don't feel like you're contradicting them or arguing with them, but you just lower it. It's all going to depend on, like, you actually kind of moved in the right direction on that one. It's all going to depend on your assets, and then you can reframe them into results and really like where you'd want like visitorship, like compared to where it is now. So now they're more thinking of, oh, these are the big outcomes because who can help them get those outcomes?
Yeah. Remember what we're doing? We're disarming the
Okay.
prospect with their guard down. We're taking them from price or cost-based thinking to results-based thinking. So the reason why he asked you how much it was not, did he get on that call like, hey, about 1 minute in, I'm just going to ask her how much it's cost? Or was there maybe something you were saying that triggered him to ask that question? You see the difference in that? Because when you start telling the prospects their problems, then they're going to say like, well, how do you do that? See how he said that? He's like, well, how do you do it? And then how much it's going to
Right.
cost. So we're the ones triggering that. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
I'm going to have Jim role play on you real quick, that first scenario, and then we're
Sure.
going to watch that recording. Everybody pay attention. Everybody ready for this? Okay, pay attention. Type in me if you're ready for this. Here we go.
All right. So Shelly, for what I sell award software. So you're going to be somebody who runs an awards program at an
Oh, fun.
association. Okay. So you
Okay.
run the awards, and we're going to say that right now you put in a demo request on my website, and right now how you do it's like really manual. Okay. All
How
right.
I do the awards is manual. Okay.
Yeah, like you get emails and it's PDFs and spreadsheets, and you might not like it very much. All right. Hey, Shelly, how's it going in your neck of the woods?
Oh, it's great. It's pretty cold. Lots of snow.
Okay, well, you're not freezing to death over there, are you?
Well, no, I'm inside.
Okay, because that could be
Yeah.
trouble. Good gosh. Well, hey, it looks like you'd put in a demo request. You'd reached out to us and then booked with my assistant Joe just on some possible outside help with your awards. Was that right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
A-Being some different vendors, and you seemed like one
yeah.
that might be interesting. Yeah.
Oh, well, we're not that cool. What did you see on the website that caused you to want to chat with us further?
I'm going to be honest. I
Well, I'd
did a
hope
quick
you'd be
Google.
honest.
Yeah, it's the only way to
Yeah,
be. I did a quick Google to find
yeah.
vendors who could help us
Hmm.
to get us off of spreadsheets and paper and sort
Okay.
of into 2026 with
Um,
managing our awards. Yeah.
that's that sort of thing is probably like the top reason folks would reach out to us. What, just so I know, like, what were you overall hoping could happen by possibly, moving to more of like an open water type system and get you off the spreadsheets? Like, what kind of outcomes were you hoping for from possibly doing something like that?
We're a small team,
Mhm.
And we all have just way too much work to do and not enough time to do
Mhm.
it. So I'm really hoping to
Mhm.
reclaim some of that time so that
Yeah,
we can spend more energy,
sure.
strategizing as opposed to just reacting.
Okay. Well, yeah, so we'll get into that for sure. And just so you know, because I don't know how much Joe had shared, these first calls though are really on the basic side. It's really just for us to get an understanding of kind of, what you've got in place now, like to manage the awards and the results you're getting from doing it that way, compared to what
Mhm.
you're like really wanting, like you were saying, just so we can see what that gap looks like. And then towards the end of the call, I can go over our system, and if it sounds like it might be what you're looking for, we can just go over some possible options for next steps. Would that help if we went through that for you?
Right. So you're saying you can tell me what you have to offer, and then I can make a decision about if I want to move forward and talk more. Is that what you're saying?
Well, we would have to make sure we could even do anything good for you in the first place if that's would help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's stop there. Well done. All right. Shelley, what did you notice was a bit different?
Yeah. So I could feel him taking control of the conversation
Okay.
and just slowing me down,
Okay.
making me a little less anxious about the whole process and just
So he was disarming you, letting your
yes,
guard.
that would
Okay.
for sure. We could call
Good.
that disarming. Yeah.
Good. Was okay. So did everybody notice the first question he asked? Remember, I want to start taking them from price or cost-based thinking to what? Results-based thinking. So what's the end result of what he sells? To automate their process so they stop wasting so much time in it. That's the end result, right? So it's like, okay, so it looks like you're talking with one of my associates, Jojo, about maybe looking at some possible help with automating your awards and to stop doing it manually, right? Right. See, that's the end result. So that first question has to get them. I'm starting to already frame them into the end result. Does that make sense, Shelley? Nobody's going to say
Yeah.
no. And then what was the next question? It's like, hey, so when you were talking with JoJo, so if you're talking with an SDR, it might sound like this. Hey, so when you were talking with her, what was it that you guys went over that caused you to feel like, hey, maybe I should look into this further? See, I'm still neutral. If I start assuming too early, how much trust and
Hmm.
credibility do you have anybody have in the first minute and a half of a sales call? Zilch.
Right.
So as I build that trust and I build that gap, Shelley, I can then get more assumptive down the line. Does that make sense? If I get too assumptive too early, I trigger what? Sales resistance. So
Right.
then
Yeah. Makes
started
me wonder.
telling,
Yeah.
you start telling Jim why you were looking, but more importantly, who did you start to tell that to?
Myself.
Yourself.
Yeah.
Now you are starting to do this to yourself. Is everybody picking up what we're throwing down here? This is called self-persuasion, which is the highest level of persuasion. Okay, does that make sense? And then what did he do at that point? You even said, did you see the disarming statement? He's like, you're like, well, we saw that you guys were a good company. He's like, well, we're not that cool. Playful tone. That's disarming. And then what did he do? You said, well, to be honest with you, and immediately says, well, I'd hope you'd be honest. And what did you do? You laughed.
Yeah.
Now, when you laugh, that releases what? Dopamine in your brain, calms the nervous system. Now, the question is Jim doing, this is a role play, but is Jim doing that to you or is he doing that for you?
Well, I hope he's doing it for me. Yeah.
You're doing it for them, right? Because if we can't get their guard down, they never open up, right, Shelley? I mean, because you got into your business because you want to solve these problems. But if
Right.
we don't learn how to get their guard down, how can we solve problems if they don't buy? You see what I'm saying? And then what else did he do? That next question is like, so what were you hoping could happen by possibly going that automation route rather than manual process? So he's starting to get you to qualify to him by saying, what were you hoping could happen by working with a company like ours? And you started telling him, but more importantly, who did you tell? Yourself again.
Myself. Mhm.
All right, type in me if you're starting to get what we're throwing down here. Type in me if that's you. All right. Jim, anything else there? And there's a lot of other things you did. Anything else there?
No, I mean, I thought I liked what Shelley did. Oh, so you're saying I could make a decision, which I've usually, if you disarm the prospect so much, the whole point of doing that, you never get that. Right. But even actually, one thing I saw in the chat, people kept saying that I was going slow, that I was slowing it down. the neuroemotional persuasion questioning, when I slow down, that helps to relax the prospect's nervous system. And that's really important because they might be kind of agitated and distrustful when they're talking to a salesperson. That's why slow in this case, what Jeremy taught me, verbal pacing, that actually goes fast because you can get so much information and help them so much, right? Where they're now focused on what they really want in like a minute and a half.
Everything's more concise.
Yeah.
Everything's more concise. When you slow down, it causes, Shelly, the prospect to internalize and think deeper and go deeper with their answers, not give you surface level answers, because it calms the nervous system. Are you with me on this? You with us on that? Okay. All right. Well, apparently we have a video of a live sales call. Anybody want to hear a live sales call of Jim actually doing this on a real prospect? Yes or no in the chats. All right. Jim, tell us a little bit about this video we're about to watch.
Yeah, so if it's the one that I'm remembering correctly, this was like the most closed off prospect that I've had in years. Like to the point where I was actually, I'm gonna be completely real. I was a little bit like, huh? Because this usually just doesn't happen. But this woman was just like super, I don't know exactly what was going on, but she was just super duper closed off. But after the status frame, she finally actually opened up and I could tell her state had basically changed. So I knew, right? I was like, oh, I pulled the Jeremy Minor, right? I got her to change her state and open up. So
all right, is everybody ready for this? All right, so Anthony, I think you've got the video. Let's go ahead and play it from the start. And everybody, I haven't even watched this yet, so I'm excited. So everybody write down and notice how he, I'm assuming, disarms the prospect, gets the guard down, starts taking it from price or cost-based thinking to results-based thinking, and we're going to come back right after this. It's going to be great.
And can we give it up for Shelly, everybody, as well? Give it up for Shelly. Well done, Shelly.
Bring Shelly back. Did we already get rid of Shelly? Bring her back up here. I got to ask her one last question. I forgot to ask her.
Shelly's up there. Come back, Shelly. Let's get
Shelly.
Shelly's camera back on.
Let's get Shelly's camera back on. All right, Shelly, are you still there? All right, Shelly, I got to ask you, so before you came on here,
yeah,
are you a winger, dabbler, or know-it-aller?
Total dabbler, yeah.
And where has that kept you financially in your life?
Yeah, it's not a good place. It's not a good place to be.
Are you ready to change that?
Absolutely, yeah.
You committed to mastery?
Yes, yeah.
You seem like the type. Well done. Everybody give it for Shelly. All right, perfect. Let's go back to Jim.
Amazing. All right, well done, Shelly. So we're gonna cue the video.
Let's do it.
We're gonna come back and break it down. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hey, is that Beth?
Yeah. Hi there.
All right. Hey, I'm just Jim. How's it going over there?
Good.
Okay, very good. And it looks like you'd put in, I think, a demo request and then booked with my assistant Joe just on some possible help with the awards, right?
Not sure about the second part of what you said, but.
Oh, I just, there's a ticket. It looks like, it just says Beth, which I'm assuming is you. And then it says possible use case was awards. So I just didn't know if that was the case. Oh, okay. Very good.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, and just so I know, what was it that you'd like seen on the website or heard about that made you want to chat with us further?
I heard of through ASI consultants when we were doing an upgrade.
What had they gone over that resonated with you?
Nothing. Just that it existed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then just so I know too, what then were you maybe overall hoping could happen by possibly bringing in like a type system for the awards?
We have a number of programs that I think probably would be better managed with an awards system. We don't have one. And we have our largest awards program, which is driving most of this, uses a document management system, so it's not really built for it. And so we're curious, want to test our theory that an awards platform would be better.
Well, no one comes to us for worse, right? They always want better and all that. Okay, well, that sounds good. And so I don't know necessarily what Joe had shared, but these first calls are very much on the basic side. It's really just to get a sense of like, where things are at with the document manager and kind of the results you're getting from that compared to what you might really be wanting, just so we can kind of, see what that gap looks like. And then towards the end of the call, if, if themes, I'll go over it a little bit, what it might be, what you're looking for. We can set up some type of possible next step. Would that help if we went through that for you?
I'm game. That's not what I thought. It would be, I thought we were going to demo so I could get a sense of how it worked. And I don't, but I'll answer what I can for sure.
Okay, well, that's, well, and just so I'm happy to show you, give you a high level overview of the system and maybe just how it would, are you on IMUS?
Yes.
Okay, it said that over here. So maybe I would plug into IMUS. We have a ton of clients that are on IMUS that use us for awards and similar. So we can cover that for you. Do you actually run them, or does somebody else at the org actually run those for you?
The awards?
Mm-hmm.
I do not. Trying to think. The awards programs that are true awards programs include that big one that I mentioned.
All right, good job. So so that was good. I told him not to do an easy one, get somebody that was really, really hard. Okay, so Jim, what ended up happening with the sale?
So we have a call booked, right? We got a next step actually booked, which, so we're moving forward in that. But I thought it was so funny when I rewatched that, how she started off awards. I didn't put in a request, but I hope everybody noticed she went from, they just told me this system existed. I don't know if I even put in a demo request. And then she shifts over to, though, by question 3, all of a sudden, I have a lot of awards programs and they're really poorly managed. So does everybody see
that?
Yeah.
So Jim, why does that happen? That's a defensive mechanism in your prospect's mind. So typically when they start talking to a salesperson like her, she's got her defenses already up. But did you see how quickly Jim, because of his tonality, okay, disarmed her, and now she's opening up by the third question saying that she has a lot of problems with her awards? What else happened in that call?
It was a bunch of stuff like that. So and I was basically transitioning into the situation phase at that point of like asking some questions and things. But yeah, she opened up, and then basically from that point, she was actually fairly open, but I don't know if people caught it. I think I saw somebody in the chat. Did people hear how she was like, hi, hi? And her tonality was like very brief and very tense sounding. If somebody comes on, are they in like a chill mode or are they in like fight or flight mode? That was one of the biggest things that Jeremy, really taught me, was recognizing what state is this person in, and then how am I going to help them? Because how can I help? She's not solving any problems in fight or flight mode. So he showed me, how do I change, like neuro-emotionally persuade, so really change her to where I'm helping her get into the position to like open up and actually fix this. That makes sense.
Does that make sense how we're doing that? Type in yes or no. Does that make sense on how we're doing that? Okay. So I want to go into this last role play, and then Anthony's got some few announcements for homework. It's going to be really exciting. So who in here wants to learn how to disarm prospects when they give you an objection? So when they give you an objection, who in here wants to learn how to disarm them? Type in me if that's you, because we're going to have Jim do this next one as well. Let's go to this next slide. Who in here ever gets this type of an objection? Let's go to that next slide, guys. All right. Who in here gets this? I really liked what you guys have, but we saw some reviews. Some of them are negative about your company online. And, we're just going to go a different direction. Type in me if you've ever lost a sale to something like this, because we all know that every company that has any type of customers probably is going to get some negative Nancy's. We all know this, right? Every great company in the world has this, okay? So how do we overcome that? Anthony, what are the rules of the role play? I want to bring somebody up for the role play. We're going to have Jim role play on this real quick, and we're going to give some homework assignments.
Rock and roll. And yes, I'm going to explain how you can win the prizes, including the Rolex. So don't go anywhere if you actually want to win that. So rules of the role play: working camera, working mic. Make sure you're not a client yet. If that is you, type I'm ready and your industry. Type I'm ready and your industry. Then what's going to happen is this is going to come up on your screen. You have to press the blue button. Some of you are saying I'm ready, and then you're not pressing the blue button, so the team can't take you to the backstage to test out your mic. So I'm ready, your industry. Press the blue button if it shows up on your screen, and we look forward to role playing. Let's roll.
All right, perfect. And then Jim, typically, like before you you got into mastery with this, the different training programs and stuff. How did you try to overcome this objection back in the day?
I like didn't. I would just thought like they're like, okay, do you want a discount? Like it was pretty much game over if I got some type of objection like this pre-NEPQ.
Who on here has maybe been in that situation where you get this objection and you're just like, I don't really know what to do, and you're like, well, I can give you a discount, or you just start to kind of waffle, but you feel like maybe there's something else you could probably do a lot better to help them overcome that. Type of me if that's you. A little bit sloppy with this. And how do I help them overcome it? So the question is, instead of telling them that the company's great, we're number one, these people that make negative reviews are bad, because that sounds like what? Like what every salesperson would say, right? Our prospects' trust goes down. How do we ask questions that allow them to overcome the objection themselves? So how do we ask questions and how do we use our tone to get the prospect to overcome their own objections? Because how many objections do you typically get now compared to before you got into NEPQ mastery?
I would say it's probably, I don't know, it's probably down to a quarter of what it used to be.
Yeah.
So like 75% less.
That makes sense, everybody. When we get really good at disarming the prospect where their guard comes down, taking them from price or cost-based thinking and results-based thinking. And tomorrow, when we train you how to build the gap to help them find problems they didn't realize they had, and then get them to see what the future looks like once those are solved. When we get good at that part, guess what happens to your objections? Guess what happens? They drastically go down. Because what causes an objection? Does anybody know what causes an objection? Does the prospect just wake up in the morning and you're like, you know what? When I get that call from that salesperson about 3:35 today, I think I'm going to go into fight or flight mode and tell them I'm not interested in the first 15 seconds. Did they plan that out? Did they plan out getting on Zoom with you and be like, you know what? I think about 3 minutes in, I think I'm going to get triggered and just say, enough with the questions. Just tell me how much it's going to cost. Did they plan that out? Or was there maybe something that we're saying? Maybe something we're asking, or how we're asking, our tone, that's triggering that reaction? Which one is it? So maybe something that we're doing possibly, or is it something they're doing? I think you guys know the answer by now. All right, Anthony, who do we have? Let's pull somebody up real quick. Even if you got
All right, we've got someone who has to have the coolest name I've ever heard. His name is Anthony. Give it up for Anthony, everybody. Give it up. Coolest name out there. Come on, Anthony. Where are you at?
Pull up Anthony. Who do we got? Anthony, who do we got?
Where are you at, man? You're hiding. Come on.
Go, Anthony.
Team, where are we
Where's
at?
Anthony?
Where are we at? All right. I think Anthony got a bit shy. Maybe I put him on the spot. Anthony, you there? He's coming. Give it 3, 2. By the way, everybody, are you guys having a good time? Is everyone learning something? Type yes in the chat. Light up that chat, because let me tell you, we are just warming up. This is just day 1. Wait till day 2 and day 3. So, Anthony, I'm going to give that another shot. Give it up for Anthony, everybody.
Perfect. All right, Anthony. All right. Anthony, I kind of can tell what you sell from your background, but if folks don't know at home, where do you live and what do you sell?
We're a company in Florida and we're selling home renovation. So basically, we're selling design, and we do the installation fabrication of wall paneling surfaces.
Home improvement, one of the top 10 that we train. 10 minutes. Okay, so in this role play, Jim's going to be the prospect. Okay, and
Okay.
let's say that you're back. It's a phone call. You call him back. You've already had a presentation or something, and he's going to throw out that objection. And I want to hear what you're saying and asking to disarm them and help them overcome that objection. Now, I'm going to show you what you do well, so you keep doing that. And then, like I said, if needed, I'll show you a few tweaks. Yes?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. All right, let's roll. This should be, so you're going to do well. You ready? Here we go.
Hey, Jim.
Oh, hi, Anthony.
Hi, this is Anthony with Wall Panels, Jim. So you've been on our website and you saw like the designs we do. So I just decided to give you a call and ask whether you're ready for the next step for the
Okay.
on-site visit of our designer.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, so this it wasn't the call. So just start in with the objection. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, Anthony.
It's
So
all good.
Jim, just give him the objection and Anthony,
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
I apologize.
So
Here
we'll
we go.
pretend, Anthony, that you just called me, and here's what I'm gonna say in this case. Oh,
Okay, sure.
yeah, no, the website, yeah, the website looked good, but um, I saw some bad reviews of the company online. So, yeah.
Oh, oh, I got you, Jim. So you've done some exploring, and you saw a bad review. So this is what up
I
to.
saw a couple
Uh,
actually.
yeah, you probably saw a couple. Jim, I just wanted to let you know
You
that
guys get a
we've
lot?
been working. We've been working for 10 years and we have hundreds of projects done. So it's probably like you saw a couple of bad reviews, but overall, our clients are very happy with our designs. So this is pretty much all about the 1% among all the other reviews that you've stumbled upon. So if you focus and like continue exploring, that you would see that actually we're doing really good with those designs.
Okay. So why, I guess, because I know you said that I'd probably seen a decent amount. Why do people leave the negative reviews then?
Well, that's a good question because we're doing really a great job with getting feedback from our clients. And for this 10 years, we've worked with over 100 of projects. And most of our clients are even happy to invite guests into their homes to share their experience working with us. And usually we get this feedback after people have finished their projects and they're happy to share with others. So I can
I
definitely
know.
help you explore a bit more about
I'm
how
sure
our
you don't
company
get that
works.
many. I'm just scared that I would put in all this money and then like what if I'm one of the unhappy people, you know?
Yeah,
It would be a
yeah,
lot of
it's
money
totally
for my wife
doable.
and I. We're just gonna, I think we might just have to like look around and kind of see and but I'll be back in touch. I'll call you back for sure.
Right, perfect, Jim. Just let me ask you a question. But you did see our designs, and since you shared your context, you
Oh,
really
they look
liked
very
some of our
nice. They
designs,
look
right?
very nice. Yes, yes.
Yes. So my proposition for you is what if we just start exploring what are you guys like looking towards? And our first step would be just to get to know each other better and just to see how our expertise might work for your exact home. And we can figure something out together, like in gathering ideas, and we give you a quote for you to think of, because like you're happy to compare with other companies.
At this point, my
But at
sales
least
resistance would unfortunately
Okay,
continue.
let's stop. Let's stop. That's all right. Okay. There's some good things you did there, Anthony. There's some good things. Look, you were cool, calm, and collective. Well done on that. Jim, what are some things you feel like you could improve on?
Um, so when you said you probably saw multiple bad reviews, if I saw that and then you said something like that, it might trigger to me to be like, the reviews were right. And then I actually kind of liked how you were like, oh, well, that's like 1%. But if I don't trust you, I might just think, well, of course the company is going to say that, you know? Um, so yeah.
So, because you're further in his belief system, his frame, that
okay.
there's a lot of negative reviews. So I need to what do I need to do? I need to take him out of that belief system, deframe him, and then reframe him into a new belief system. Yes. So when you start going in like, oh, well, just so you know, we've been working on projects for 10 years. We have all these people that are happy overall. See, we start to try to prove that we're good. But what pattern would most prospects be used to from any salesperson? Trying to what? Prove while they're good.
Okay.
Right? Would that be right? Would prospects be used to salespeople selling them anything, saying something similar? Trying to prove
Right.
that, right? Okay. So we want to interrupt that pattern. Okay. So Jim's going to show you how to do that. You ready to role play, Jim?
Sure. Let's do it.
Everybody ready for this? You sure you guys ready? Type at me if you're ready. Okay, just make sure you guys are ready. All right, let's role play. And same scenario, you'll just throw out that objection, Anthony, and we'll see what happens. Here we go.
Ring, ring. All right. Hey, Anthony.
Oh, hi, Jim. Oh, I remember you.
Uh,
Hello.
Yeah, hey, I just wanted to reach out and yeah, really just see if you'd found what you were looking for as far as, the options for designing the home and where everything was at and if it would possibly help for us to reconnect with you and your wife at some point.
Yeah, sure. Jim, would you remind me the name of the company? Because I'm getting so
Yeah,
much calls.
Verona Home.
Okay, Anthony,
Oh,
just
Verona. Oh,
objection. Anthony, just throw out the
yeah,
objection.
yeah.
Night reviews.
Yeah, Jim, because I just recently had some reviewing
Yeah.
the market and I saw some
Yeah.
bad reviews on the company, so
Oh,
I'm not sure yet whether we
you
go
did?
with you guys. Yes.
Huh. Um, how that's odd. How do you mean by bad reviews?
Well, I mean, on the Google ads, I saw that the companies that there are clients that tried doing business with you, and they're not satisfied with the quality of job. So,
How,
I think I'm gonna.
well, how many negative reviews did you actually see?
I've seen a couple.
Okay. Well, a couple meaning like three or five or how many?
I just read them through, so I just really
Okay.
wanted to understand what people are
Were the
saying, so they're not
people,
satisfied with the quality of work.
yeah, I'm not familiar with that. Were these people posting, were they like 100% verified as actual clients, or could it theoretically have just been like some unhappy internet person?
Well, there were people sharing some details, so I think
Oh
pretty
no, I
much
was just curious,
they're real
like these
customers.
people sharing the details, like were they actually like 100% like undeniably verified as like these were our actual clients, or were these just some people on the internet who might have like had a little too much time on their hands, possibly?
Uh, uh, these are just Google reviews that I paid attention,
Okay.
so my guess.
Yeah, because like, just so you know, like we have around like 10,000 clients at this point. So if even let's say there were like, I don't know, 10 negative Google reviews or something, right? That would be 1 out of 1,000. So like 0.1% roughly complaining. So if you have, let's say you have 10 people that are saying negative things, but the other 9,000 and 990, have a good experience and everything, like from your standpoint, like what would that possibly mean about the results we're getting for our clients?
Yeah, Jim, you're totally right, but I just stumbled upon some bad reviews, and this just like made the impression on me. So you're saying
Yeah.
like you've done a lot of projects, and so so,
Well,
so
it's
I should
not
just
really what
ignore
I'm
that my
saying. It's
experience.
more,
Elaborate.
no, it's not really what I'm saying. It's what our clients would be saying, right? Because if the vast majority, right, are happy and have positive feedback and all of that, like what would that suggest about the type of results they got?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, well, and so, right, obviously they're very happy on average for sure, but can I make a suggestion though?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead. Sure.
Yeah, well, because have you ever, I don't know if you've ever dealt with people like this in your line of work, but have you ever considered that no matter how great and just above and beyond you go for your clients, there will always be some, right? Not a lot, but some that like maybe they don't follow through with the pieces of a project that they're responsible for on their end. And with that type of person, is that somebody that's going to like take proper accountability? Or for those couple of people, who do you feel like they usually blame?
It's a good question. It's a good question,
Well,
Jim.
who would they, if the type of person that doesn't, they're not responsible, they don't fulfill on their end of something, are they going to own up and say it was all me, or would they get on the internet and what do you feel they might say on like a Google review?
Well, I'm just looking for a job to be done like once. right? So I don't feel like
Well,
babysitting the
that's why people
workers.
come to us. Yeah. Jeremy, I'll let you.
Okay. Yeah, let's stop there. We keep going. Okay, so does everybody see the difference? Let's go to that first slide here. Let's go to that first slide because I'm going to break this down for you what you do. So what did he do the first thing? The first thing when we get an objection, we have to do what? We have to find out what the objection actually means. Does everybody get that? So does that make sense, Anthony? So instead of trying to prove it, we're like, oh, how do you mean by bad reviews?
Yeah.
That's the first question. Okay. Because we don't know what they mean by that. Okay. Because a lot of times they might come back, like you said, well, I saw a few bad reviews. Oh, okay. So did you see 2 or 3 or 4, or how many did you see? Okay, let's go to that next slide. So it's the same type of thing here. So and then he asked you, like, were these actual like verified clients or just some like negative people online? Or with your industry, he could say, were these actual verified clients or maybe like some negative competitor who's just trying to like take business or something? You see, Anthony? So that seeds what in the brain? Doubt that what they read might not be true. Because that is true. That happens all the time. Okay. Whatever you said there. And he's like, now, when you say you saw negative views, how many did you actually see? So he quantifies it all the way down to you only saw 3. And then that sets it up. Let's go to the next slide where he said, just so you know, I think he said we have, 10,000 clients. So if we had 10 net reviews out of 10,000 clients, what would that be? That 0.001? Whereas the 99.998 would be happy. So what would that, what would that possibly mean about the results our clients are getting? And you start saying, what? That means you're doing a good job. So see how he's starting to reframe you into a new belief system. Type in me if you're starting to get this. Type in me. You guys getting this? And then he goes, let's go to the next slide. Then he even come at the end and it's asked you, have you ever considered that now however great you do for your clients, you're always going to have some people, they're not going to do what they're supposed to do and who they usually blame. And you said, yeah, they wouldn't take accountability. They would blame you. So now you're the one telling yourself, you're the one overcoming your own concern. Do you see the difference in that, Anthony?
Yeah, exactly. And I just also loved like the curious tone. Like he was surprised, like bad reviews? No way.
Exactly. It's a confused tone.
Exactly.
Okay, we teach you that. Okay, so before you came up here, were you a winger, dabbler, or a know-it-aller?
I would say I was a dabbler. Totally.
And where has that gotten you financially?
I've got a lot of things to work on.
Okay. Are you committed to mastery?
Oh yeah, totally.
All right. Everybody give it up for Anthony. Well done, Anthony. Everybody get it for Jim as well. Hey, thanks for volunteering for that role play. Well done. Thanks, Jim. Well done, Jim. You guys want to see something cool? Hey, let's do this. I want to do something here. Anthony's got an exercise here for you, but I want to do something first. I thought this was really cool. This is something we have not even announced yet. Like hardly anybody knows this. In the chats, I want you to type in the number 1 objection you lose sales from right now. So in the chat, type in the number 1 objection that you lose sales from right now. Because I want to show you guys how I think it's going to blow your mind away. Now, for the last probably the last year and a half, clients. I mean, we have hundreds of thousands of clients. You guys might not realize this. We have hundreds of thousands of clients in all industries, including yours. And everybody's been asking us, hey, can you make a tool like with Jeremy's brain in it, like with AI, with Jeremy's brain in it? Because our clients, what they were having a hard time with is they would go to like ChatGTP or Grok or any AI, and they would ask ChatGTP questions like, what would Jeremy say when the prospect gives me this objection? Or I sell insurance. What would Jeremy say to get the guard down? Or what would he say to prevent objections? And what they would notice is that the answers they were given, they had never even heard me talk about in our training programs. Now, why is that? Because ChatGTP, Grok, all of them, none of them have licensing agreements with 7th level. So when they were hoping they could get accurate responses, all chat could do was pull from our basic free content. That's just basic content. None of our client training, none of our industry specific training for clients, they don't have access to that. So you want to see something and how it works? Type in mastery if you want to see something. You might like this. Okay. Anthony, do we have that site?
We do. We do.
I'm going to pull up Anthony.
I can't believe we're sharing this. This is like a huge moment.
You guys want to see this?
You remember when Steve Jobs announced the iPhone?
It's kind of like that.
First iPhone. It's kind of like that. All right,
Yeah.
ready?
So this is cool. So the founder of Ancestry.com, you guys know Ancestry.com, the DNA? So Paul Allen, when they sold Ancestry like 4 years ago, started his own AI company. And we partnered with Paul Allen. So he's a partner within part of our AI division of our company. And now we have like a little bit under 32,000 hours of my training, my brain within AI. So let's try it out. Let's
big brain. There's a lot in that brain.
Got a big brain there. That big brain there.
Yeah.
Let's try it out. Let's try it. Let's pull it up. Let's ask a question. I just asked one of the questions on the side to stop being a dabbler, commit to mastery. Just ask one of the questions on the side.
All right. Let's do the sell car insurance example. Let's roll.
Okay. All right. So this is cool. So you could literally say like, I sell car insurance. I sell life insurance. I sell solar. I sell financial planning. I sell SaaS. I sell cybersecurity. I sell whatever. It doesn't matter. It's all because we have all the industry specific training. It's going to pull up the text of what to do. And then it's going to show you, Anthony, let's go ahead and click. Don't click on it yet. Then it's going to give you an area where you can click a button and go into a specific 5 or 10 minute training where I specifically trained on your question. So not just text, but then it's going to go take you to a training that I did on that specific question. Let's click on that one, just see what it does.
Situation questions do two things. First, situation questions.
Okay, so I think we asked it like, what are some situation questions? I sell car insurance. And then it takes you right to a training where I specifically trained on that.
You're helping the
Type in me
find out
if you feel having my brain where you can ask me any question is going to help you sell a lot more than you are now. Oh, you guys are starting to get this. All right, we're about to, I think we might even be launching this tomorrow, maybe.
Dude, we better get the servers ready, Jay. We better get the servers ready. We're gonna break the system tomorrow with everyone jumping on this.
It's going to be fun. All right, so I know you have something you want to share, cool exercise, and you're going to wrap it up with the homework, and let's get out of here. It's going to be great.
All right, don't go anywhere yet, everybody. I'm about to announce the homework and what you need to do to be in it for the Rolex and some other prizes. But before we do that, is everybody okay if I let you in on something? I've rarely shared this before, unless you paid us a few $1,000s and you're in the room with us last year at one of our live events we held in Scottsdale, Arizona. You guys cool with that? Type yes. We haven't bored you to death yet, right? You guys still have a bit more in the tank? Yes, Richard? Eric? Okay, good. We're still in the right room. Perfect. So I want to talk to you about breaking patterns you may have been carrying for years, about maybe something you think you deserve, or if you remember before, remember what I spoke about in terms of the lack. So this is going to make sense to you, and I'm going to share this with you because I know you can't survive in sales without understanding this principle. I literally had people come up to me at the end of this event. I did this live on stage. You're about to see this. And said that was single-handedly the biggest shift that they needed to take their sales to the next level. So this is a recording. All right, this is a smart group. I'm about to play you a 6 to 7 minute recording. Go to the end. As soon as we wrap it up, there's a lesson that's going to help you. And then I'm going to cover the homework and what you need to do for next steps. So if you're ready, type ready in the chat. If you're ready, type ready in the chat. Are we ready? All right, team, let's cue the recording. We're going to do an exercise right now. I'm going to need 5 volunteers. Raise your hand if you'd like to volunteer. My man, yes, with a cool hat. Yes, sir. Everyone give these people a round of applause. What I'm about to do is I'm going to give these volunteers a test. Now, got a couple of rules for this test. Rule number 1, they don't get a lifeline, meaning you guys can't help them. Rule number 2, I'm going to ask you guys some questions, but nobody can repeat the same answer twice. Let's start over here. My name's Anthony Vazzari, and you are? Federico, Tiffany, Amber, Stan the man. Give it up for Ryan, everyone. So they got the first question right. But here's the thing. The questions I'm about to ask are going to get progressively harder. And remember, no two people can answer the same question twice. You guys got that? And no helping. We're all salespeople, aren't we? What are we transacting with our prospects? Energy? We are doing energy. What else? Money. All right. So I'm going to ask the second question. Federico, what is in my hand? Benjamin, give it up. Yes. Tiffany, what am I holding? Money, yes. Give it up. Amber. Paper, yes. Stan, what am I holding? Opportunity. Ooh. Stan's getting philosophical on us. I like it. Ryan, what am I holding? Freedom, yes. So they got the second question right. And let me tell you this. When I first started out in my career, as I mentioned before the break, I was selling to really high net worth individuals. I was dealing with people, medical people, dentists, doctors, orthodontists, high status. Society looks up to these people. They got a lot of money. They don't have time. They don't have patience. They knew I was there to sell them. I never had a good audience at the start. I would always get resistance. But here's the thing. I believe so much in what I was selling. Like, raise your hand if you really believe in what you're selling is going to help your prospects. I don't see everyone's hand raised. Maybe some of you don't believe it, and that's a problem. We're going to work on that. And here's the thing. Like, I knew that people would go to bed worse off at night if they didn't buy what I was selling. And I had to develop this belief. And one of the biggest beliefs that helped me, that I developed, I believed that people loved to pay me money. Doesn't matter if they were older than me, they had more money than me, they had more experience than me. I didn't care how they perceived me. I believe that people love to pay me money. And raise your hand and be real with me. How many of you believe that people love to pay you money? I don't see a lot of hands raised. And that's what we're going to work on. Because here's the thing. If we don't believe that people want to pay us money, we already go into the call with a limiting mindset that we're fearing what the person's going to do, or they're going to judge us. And then they give us an objection, and then we start to form a pattern in our mind that maybe our prospects don't have the money, or maybe what I'm doing isn't right, and that really affects us. How many of you are picking up what I'm putting down? So I implore you all to adopt this belief. So my volunteers, I want to ask all of you a question. How many of you believe that people love to pay you money? Federico, do you believe it? Do you believe that people love to pay you money? Bit shaky. I see that. Do you believe that people ought to pay you money, Tiffany? Yes. Good. Amber, do you believe? How many of you believe? No. Stan, do you believe that people love to pay you money? Do you believe it? Like, do you really, really believe it?
Open-minded.
Open-minded. Good. Ryan, do you believe that people love to pay you money?
Currently not.
Currently not. I see that, and we have to work on that. I'm asking all of you, again, how many of you believe that people love to pay you money? I'm talking to every single one of you. Like, how many of you really, really believe that people love to pay you money? Like, do you guys believe it? You believe it? How many of you believe that people love to pay you money? Do you really, really believe it? Oh, give it up, Stan! A true believer! Give it up! Scoot on down, scoot on down. Scoot on down, scoot on over. Everyone, we have a true believer. Give it up! All right. So the four of you left. How many of you believe that people love to pay you money? Give it up for Ryan. Give it up. Now, there's three of you left. How many of you believe that people love to pay you money? Give it up for Federico. Yes. Good. All right. Two of you left. How many of you believe that people love to pay you money? I'm talking like really, really believe it. Like, you believe it? How many of you believe it? Give it up for Tiffany. And for you, Amber. Good. All right. Get in order from 100 to 20. There's a couple of principles I want to unpack with this exercise. See, here's the thing. Before I left Australia, I knew I was going to come here and give somebody this money. I just didn't know who. And the same way, I know your prospects are out there willing to give their money away to you. I implore you all to adopt that belief that people love to pay you money. Now, when Stan grabbed the $100 bill, I called him a true believer. Why did I call him that? Because people don't believe what they say they believe. We only believe what we do. How many of you are picking up what I'm putting down? You see, in life, there are a lot of people that they say they want to be successful, but they're not doing anything to put their neck on the line and get the skills to master and become successful. You got a lot of people meditating about it, thinking about it, dabbling about it. You guys know this. You got the prospects dabbling about it, but they're not doing anything to put themselves in a position where they can actually get the skills to win. And the second principle is this. It's what we call first mover advantage. First mover advantage is whoever moves the first, they get the lion's share. How many of you can make a hamburger better than McDonald's? Keep those hands up. But here's the thing, get this. McDonald's sells more hamburgers than anybody out there. Why is that? They don't make the best. Well, get this. While everyone else was talking about doing fast food and talking about creating a chain, McDonald's was the first one to actually create a system so that they can win. Wealth has a need for speed. If you make $1 million, are you wealthy? Yes or no? It depends. If it takes you 40 years to make $1 million, that's 40 years you're in poverty of $25,000. When Stan moved, what did you get, Stan, for moving first? He got $100 because he moved first. So the person that moved first got 5 times as much as the person that moved second. The person that moved first got 10 times as much as the person that moved third. The person that moved first got 20 times as much as the person that moved fourth, and the person that moved first got 100 times more than the person that moved fifth. But realize this, everybody that moved, even though Amber only got $1, she still got something. So in business, when you see an opportunity to make your life better, you must act with a sense of urgency. So remember, in business and in life, when you see an opportunity to make your life better, you must act now. When? Now. When? Now. When? Now. Give yourself a round of applause. Give our volunteers a round of applause. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. How are we feeling? What came up for you when we went through that? Because here is the truth. If you don't change your relationship with money, if you don't believe that people want to pay you money, I'm here to tell you it's always going to control your actions. And that's what keeps most people stuck. That's what keeps most people focusing on their lack rather than their fortune. But what if this was just the moment you decide to break that pattern? That's why we do this. That's why we engage over the next few days. This isn't the end of day one. This is the beginning of 3 days of transformation. Not just to help you sell more, but we're here to help you finally become the version of you that's no longer held back by fear or scarcity or self-doubt or any of the pennies you mentioned earlier. Are you guys feeling the shift? Type yes in the chat. Type yes in the chat if you felt that. And don't pay out my Aussie accent. A couple of comments there. I know it sounds a bit funny, but it's not funny to me because I'm in Australia. All right, Chris, good job. Dippo, Tony, Patrick, awesome. Jeremy, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, like, what do we always say? We always say success is simply a choice. Success, everybody repeat in the chat. Success is simply a choice. Success is simply a choice because what is the type of person who's committed to mastery do? Because we'll talk a lot about this tomorrow while we train you guys, but people, you know, Anthony, you talk about it. People don't believe what they say. They only believe what they do. So if we say we're committed to mastery, what does the person who's committed to mastery actually do? Do they just say it or do they do something, right? And I think you guys are smart. You guys all know this, that to master selling, to master anything, really in life, anything you want to master, you have to have a what? You have to have a step-by-step plan taught by who? Somebody who's actually mastered the thing you want to master at, right? Everybody knows that, right? We all know that. Type in yes or no, right? You guys know that. We all know that, right? So success is simply a choice. And what does the committed to mastery person do? Not just what they say. Anthony, I'll turn it back over to you for homework.
Yeah, perfect. All right, guys. So homework, remember, we've got some prizes to win. First of all, let me just ask, how many of you starting to see sales differently now? Just type yes in the chat. This is just the end of day one. We're just warming up. There are so many levels to this game, but how many of you have realized you've been saying things out of habit without really knowing why? Who's starting to realize that? Yes, James, Ivan, Charlene, Alexander. I just want to say how amazing you all are as well. So let me ask you this. If you got even one breakthrough today, what do you think could happen when you show back up for day 2 and when you show back up for day 3? Because here's the truth. Day 2 tomorrow is where the shift happens. Today, we showed you how to open the conversation, how to disarm your prospects. Tomorrow, we're going to show you how to control it with questions that pull your prospect in instead of pushing them away. We're going to show you how to go deeper, and you're going to see some live examples. Who would like to role play tomorrow? Who would like to role play tomorrow with Jeremy or one of our advanced trainers? Type me in the chat. Show back up. You're going to have the opportunity to do that. Now, really important. I'm going to go through the homework. Here's the homework for day one. What is it? It is this. So your homework is to go inside the WOP 7th Level University community, and you're going to post a video. I see a lot of people right now going in there, posting it in written form, but you can't win the prize unless you post a video. So you're going to go in there, you're going to post the video, and you're going to say, I've mostly been a winger, a dabbler, or a know-it-aller. Let us know. Be honest. What have you been up to now? But after today, I'm choosing to commit to mastery because, and just share it. What's the reason you've decided now is the moment? I draw a line in the sand, I take a step forward, and I commit to mastery. And make sure it's your own reason. So that's number one. And second, I want you to drop your biggest takeaway from day one. What hit you the hardest? This is on video. Remember, in order to win the prizes, you have to post video. If you don't know how to use your phone, just go on Google or YouTube and say, I own an iPhone. Hopefully you own an iPhone. We don't have any Android users in the house, do we? Could be trouble. I'm just teasing. They're going to throw rocks at me here. And say, hey, I own an iPhone or an Android. How do I record a video and post that? And we'll walk you through that. Now, where are you posting that? You're going here. You're going to the Crush Your Commissions 7th Level University WOP community. You go to nepq.io/group. Now, once you're on this page, you're going to go down here. You'll see community. You're going to click on homework. You see the homework posted here. Hey, Nathan postings. Well done. 4 minutes ago posted. So Angela, for example, Angela, you need to post the video. All right. Make sure you post the video in order to win the prize. Now, what is the prize tomorrow? Tomorrow's prize I'm announcing at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Whoever does their homework that showed up live today and is engaging in the group, lifting others up, I'm giving away a free one-on-one session with myself. This is valued at $3,000. One one-on-one with me is $3,000. People pay me $3,000 for just one one-on-one, and I'm going to help you tie in what you've learned today into your exact industry. So I'm going to help you with the scripting, a role play. I can break down a call recording for you. So one of you are going to get a one-on-one with me valued at $3,000. I'm announcing that tomorrow at 7 p.m. to do your homework. Who would like to win that one-on-one with me? Type yes in the chat. Type yes in the chat if you'd like to win that. Make sure you do your homework and make sure you show up tomorrow live. Who's going to do
Who
their
wants
homework?
to win the watch?
Ooh,
who wants to win the Rolex?
Oh,
I've got
baby.
it right here. Look at this bad boy. Who wants to win
pretty
the
nice
Rolex?
watch. Box
That's
and
right.
papers.
I love it. We
Yeah.
got the box and the papers, everything. It's lovely. It's going to be
So
great.
actually, Jeremy, you just reminded me. In order to win the Rolex, you have to do the homework for day one. So you've got to show up live again tomorrow and do the homework. And then on day 3, we're announcing the Rolex winner for the most engaged person that showed up, played full out, and did their homework by posting their videos.
Yeah. And this is a unisex Rolex. So for guys and gals,
Yeah.
unisex guys and gals, both. Awesome.
It's the Datejust Rolex two-tone. Is that the two-tone, Jay? We got a.
It is the two-tone. It is the
Oh,
two-tone. We had to get the unisex. You know, we got a lot of lady bosses here that might be winning the
Absolutely.
prize. Taking out
Absolutely.
these guys. We had 2 lady bosses come up here and do the role play. We did have a guy come up. Well done, Anthony. The other Anthony. All right. I
Yeah.
think what else we got? I think that's it.
Well, we're live again tomorrow, Jay. Jay, how are you feeling? How are you feeling after day 1? How are you feeling right now?
I am feeling like $3 trillion at this point. 3.567 trillion dollars. You know, I am ready because tomorrow we start getting serious. Tomorrow, who in here notices when you ask questions, you get a lot of vague, generalized, surface level answers. And the prospect just, it's like they don't feel any urgency to want to buy. Type in me if you've kind of noticed, like your prospects don't feel any urgency. Well, the question is, why is that happening? So tomorrow we're going to show you how to build a gap very quickly from where that prospect is to where they want to be. And we're going to show you how to relanguage some of the questions that you're using now to get the prospect to want to open up to you. Because can you imagine how much more you would sell right now if you knew, just like Jim, just like Caden? I mean, we have hundreds of thousands of clients like Jim and Caden, all industries. It's hard to pick who we're going to bring out on these. If you master what we've taught them, could you imagine how much you'd sell? Like if you learned how to build that gap and disarm the prospect, where would you be at right now? That's what we're going to cover tomorrow. You want to be here tomorrow. if you're committed to mastery. Who's committed to mastery? You guys are, right? This is the intelligent room. All right, good. 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. I think we're going to train about 2.5 hours tomorrow, right?
Hey, we might even go, they're not going to get mad at us if we extend that for an extra 20, 30 minutes, train for 2.5 hours. I hope not.
Is anybody going to get mad
at us tomorrow? Jeremy, we got a lot to train on them tomorrow. So make sure you don't have any plans after. I'm committed to staying for an extra.
I mean, I don't know. We did this about a year ago, and there was some guy in there getting angry that we went 25 minutes over the allotted time. And I'm like, you didn't have to be on here to learn how to sell more. Anybody going to get angry for us to like train you more how to sell? Okay,
that's not this room, man. This is a high level room.
It's different.
I have
this
to
is a high
say
level
as well, I don't know if you agree, Jay, but I have to say, this has to be one of the most engaged groups we've had. I'm seeing this chat box firing. I'm not seeing any negative Nancy's, and I'm seeing people lean in out of their discomfort. So give yourself a massive round of applause. Well done.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I love this because it's, we've done some of these events where we'll have like 20,000 people on there, right? And this event, we didn't advertise as much for it. We didn't let people know about it. So we've got this, 1,500 to 2,000 people here. So it feels a little bit more intimate. It feels like, we're getting to know each other in the groups, because some of those is like, you can't even see the comments. They go through fast, the big ones. But I love doing these smaller events with high level sales pros like you guys. So well done. I'm looking forward to being with you guys tomorrow. It's going to be fun.
And can we give Jeremy Minor a massive round of applause? Did he play full out today? Give it up for Jeremy, everybody.
Hey, we got to give the guys over here. We got to give Aiden, our main dog, videographer and editor. We got to get Evan, our VP of growth. They're right in here in the room. You guys can't see them. They're running everything, making us cool over here.
Yeah. But we are just getting started. So as we wrap up, everybody, make sure you do your homework. I'm so impressed. Look at all these people that have already done it. Andrew just posted. Julia. Hey, Julia, what's up? If anyone's wondering if this is live, yeah, it's live. Kofi, absolutely. Nathan, good job. So guys, post your homework in the chat. We will see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard. We just warmed up. Tomorrow, we take things to another level. Good night, everybody. Well done for playing full out, or good morning, wherever you are in the world. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.